Well, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Welcome to another 13 card subject to change. This is your boy, the big, lovable Big J Stowe, back in Leroy's kitchen again with my two cohorts. To my right, it is Leroy.
Yes.
And to my left, it is the lovely, the gorgeous Zachary.
I do have really good eyebrows today. I'm not going to.
And that's why I shouldn't have complimented him. He wouldn't ruin the damn compliment. It happened so quickly this morning.
I am not getting away from that.
Now, I know you're wondering, well, this is an interesting episode. The big man is starting. Well, that's because we're going to get into something we didn't get the chance to get into last week and that I find reprehensible.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Leroy, do you have a word or adjective to add to this?
Incomprehensible.
There we go.
You know,
that's
a pretty big one. I like that one.
Sometimes I use big words. Not always, but I use big words.
Word for the man from Wisconsin.
That one I like. So
no, I just live here. I'm from Minnesota.
See, he's
fair enough.
All right.
He's from the right side of the bridge. He just lives on the wrong side of it.
Hey, I'm saving money.
To be fair, though, Jesse's from Brooklyn, and Jesse don't want to talk about nobody talking in Brooklyn right now because right now Brooklyn's got some issues.
You make such a great point that I have nothing to argue there.
Oh, God.
Now, this article by Wrestle Talk. Now, I am someone who watches Wrestle Talk. I've actually known about the channel for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
Started and run by Ollie Davis, UK brand wrestling. Actually, was not only just a magazine, they actually were running a small wrestling company at the time as well.
Yeah.
Now, Ollie Davis and a lot of those guys, now, they might have different opinions, but it usually comes from a very honest place, and they try to be very honest with people. They have always tried to be.
Yes.
Now, in the past, anytime they've hired people to write on the website, they've usually got people to, yes, be true to your feelings, but also just be honest. Even if it's against what you usually feel, just be honest.
Yeah.
Because you want more people to come to you if you're honest. That's what we try to do here at 13 Cards.
We have a lot of context to get into later today, but for right now, Jesse, you've got some context you'd like to get into.
Except with this article writer.
All right.
So they hired this Canadian named Tempest. Now, Tempest is someone who actually was working to be a pro wrestler up in Canada, not too far from us, actually, here in the Northland.
Yep.
Okay? But this guy, who will openly tell you his biases, can never get over his biases and, how should we say this, cleanly, plateauly? There's a better word there. Review pro wrestling. Review something about pro wrestling. And a couple weeks ago, like I said, we didn't get the chance to get to it last week, but a couple weeks ago, he ranked every Bullet Club member from worst to first. And Zach.
Yes, Jesse. Yes, Jesse.
I'm going to tell you, before I even go through the whole list, really quickly, I'm going to tell you, there are some idiocies in this list.
Oh, really?
There is some deeply stupid takes in this list.
I honestly hated number 24. I didn't think, was it Bone Soldier was 24? I didn't think he was that bad. I think he actually...
Oh, it's when we get to someone who deserves accolades, but not for what they did in Bullet Club. A certain somebody at 14, Bay, wink, wink.
Oh, really?
And I'll get to that.
All right.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. So the list,
yes,
from worst to first.
Mm-hmm.
Bone Soldier. Now, makes sense. The original Bone Soldier, not junior, kind of almost. He's becoming a legend now.
Yeah.
Junior heavyweight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong. Forgive me. The Japanese names sometimes get mixed in my head. But,
yep.
The original Bone Soldier, kind of a bigger dude, someone who was oft injured in New Japan. He really was an absolutely terrible member.
Yeah.
So if you're ranking the original members and you rank him last, I get it. Basically, was a guy who took a lot of L's and stuff like that, but did a lot. Basically, a side thug. For the group.
And every group in wrestling has had those.
Correct.
There's a place for those people.
Correct.
No doubt.
So if you want to rank the worst member, him the worst member of all time, got no problem with it.
Yeah.
Number 28, he should have never been this low, but if you're going to put him in a list of
28 or 24?
28 this one.
Okay, all right.
Is Jado. Now, for those who don't know, Jado Gato actually used to be a very formidable junior tag team back in the day, 2006 to about 2012.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jado dealt with a lot of terrible injuries.
Yeah.
But Jado as a Bullet Club member hasn't been terrible. It just, they don't really, people seem to think Jado is a bad member because he's a manager who doesn't get involved but sometimes does, and maybe the involvement is misplaced. Well, that's just wrestling booking.
So basically, Jake the Snake Roberts, the entire first 3 months he was with Lance Archer.
Sure.
Because it never made a goddamn, like I said.
Sure.
He was interfering on behalf of Jake's opponents. or I should say Lance's opponents, yeah.
And of course, people will put him low because Gato and Jado are actually two of the 4 main bookers for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
So Jado's 28. I can always let it go. Dick Togo is very, very new in this game for Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Just, he ranked him 27. He's Evil's manager. Very interesting stuff going on right now between Evil and Jay White, something I'll get to much later, if not on a different show.
Yep.
Gato at 26 makes no sense. Gato is someone who helped turn the tide by turning on the Rainmaker for the young Jay White.
And that was actually one of those moments where I remember when it happened, the results actually got the audience of Japan to sort of stand up and...
Correct.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm using the damn Isis thing, but correct.
That actually got a reaction out of the Asian audience.
Correct. And by the way, it made Jay White an even bigger heel than he already was.
He was already one of the top heels, and all of a sudden he's like the most hated man on the island.
But he is, he's 26 on the list. And the reason he's 26 on the list is because he's the main booker, and he just doesn't feel that.
But if we talk about his involvement in Bullet Club.
If it's just Bullet Club, most of the moments he's been a part of has been some of the best moments in the last 3 years.
Right.
So
they really had to find their way, I think, when Kenny left, because again, I know we've had our shit to say about Kenny,
Correct.
but the veil of Kenny Omega was still pulled over our eyes when he was in Bullet Club.
Correct.
And that was mostly because of GOD.
Correct.
Yes.
And then hold on just a second. I forgot this list is very weird.
Okay.
It's in pages. My bad. I apologize. Can't just put it all down. All right. So next on the list, Frankie Kazarian. Now, Frankie Kazarian probably should be at 28. Now we're getting into some of the former Ring of Honor members of Bullet Club.
This was an awkward moment time for Bullet Club.
They should all except for Cody and probably Hangman Page being your lower tier.
Okay.
And I do mean all of them. And Marty Scurll. I always take Marty Scurll almost away from the Ring of Honor stuff because he really was mostly a UK wrestler that would go work excellent matches in New Japan and for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
But Frankie Kazarian, of course, originally joined to kind of turn on his partner, only for them to do it was basically like a month and a half storyline where he eventually just turned on Adam Cole anyway. So it was a short-lived run in Bullet Club, but someone who probably should have been much lower. Another one from Ring of Honor, Cody Hall. For those who don't know, this is Scott Hall's son. Has Scott Hall's pedigree. I mean, looked pretty much like his dad without a mullet.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, definitely does, yes.
Big kid, was athletic as hell. Unfortunately, he just never really came into his own on the indie scene. Shockingly, never worked with WWE, which I thought when he was originally first released from Ring of Honor he would. But him being at 24, not shocked. He didn't have a very long run because his run, to me, this is when you had the Young Bucks mostly trying to do the American side of it and all that stuff in Ring of Honor, where it was just like, okay, where they're trying to repeat what New World Order did, and it ain't working.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He has Evil at 23.
Yes.
Now, the only thing I can give most people about Evil is that his run as IWGP Heavyweight Champion / IWGP Intercontinental Champion wasn't very good. But to be fair to New Japan, This is during the pandemic. People forget New Japan was one of the last of the major promotions that actually come back. They didn't come back for 7 months after the pandemic started because things in Japan were so bad that they wanted to keep their people as healthy as possible. And they wanted to protect their fans.
That's smart to do.
And they lost a lot of money doing that, but they did it. Okay? And here's the worst part to me about putting Evil at 23. He's been better since losing the championships.
He really has.
He's been a lot better
really has.
since losing the championships. Now he's starting to kind of find his way of maybe becoming the leader. And you got him at 23. Okay. Number 22, Hikuleo. Now, to be fair, for those who don't know, who have only recently seen Hikuleo in AEW, he's actually been a part of New Japan for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, he went on excursion pretty damn early in his New Japan career, wrestling a lot in Mexico, as to quote Bruce Richter, as an attraction, and wrestling a lot in the UK before the pandemic. And to be fair, no one has ever done anything with him outside of AEW, to be fair.
Yeah.
This is not a guy who usually gets championship runs or shots. And it's weird because Hikuleo wrestles like a big man, and it almost feels like he should probably be a WWE guy.
Yeah. Because
most companies like big men, but they like him to be athletic. Young Big Show, of course, the Giant, was very athletic for a dude 7'4", 495 pounds.
Which is why Vince had more expectations for him than he did of Andre, because Andre did not have access to the medical technology that Paul White
7'5",
did.
5'12", and was just kind of lumbering near the end. His knees were his worst enemy.
Yes. And obviously Big Show was able to stop the growth around college. He was really able to stop becoming a giant, and he already was, but he wasn't going to get much bigger.
And he was already pretty large.
Yeah.
And for a guy that large to be able to do drop kicks and stuff was already very impressive.
Yes.
But Hikuleo's not that kind of big guy.
Yeah.
Just a big guy that works big.
Yep.
So Hikuleo in the lower tier, no problem. Chris Bay, I have no problem with. He's newer. They're going to do more with him. They're still doing more with him.
Is he in Japan yet, or is he still only?
He has been working strong.
Okay.
Of course, working Impact. Of course, his main promotion.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Still very new. That was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a read on Chris Bay right now. We got to see more.
Was there a specific reason that Jay White said that he specifically went after a Chris Bay situation? Was it because he was eventually going to come to Strong?
So he said, I recruit. It was almost a line from Vince McMahon. He said, when I see talent, I recruit talent.
Okay.
And so he saw Chris Bay.
Oh, Chris is great.
That's intelligent,
Right.
Chris is great talent.
Chris is extremely excellent talent.
Yeah.
So not a shock there. Like, very young into the game, though. He's at 21.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Now we get to 20.
Show this early is just based on potential. His reasoning is potential, because if it wouldn't have been, I'm already going to murder him for the higher ranks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if this wasn't based on just the potential of because Show's only 27.
Right, exactly.
Now
we're into Robbie.
Now Robbie Eagles being at 19
I'm Robbie.
is stupid.
Aye.
This is the first of the absolute stupid.
Yes.
So think of it this way, Leroy.
Okay.
Think if when Sean originally was having the back issues, was gone, instead of X-Pac coming back, what if it had been, let's just throw out Steve McMichael coming into DX?
Fair enough.
Would that have made sense to you?
It's actually a very fair comparison, in my opinion.
That's Robbie Eagles for Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm not. Doesn't click for me for that. No.
So Bullet Club has always been a heel, even though some of the leaders have gotten cheered in the past.
Yes.
It's been a heel faction.
Yes.
Robbie Eagles never came off as a heel.
I'll never accuse Robbie of being a heel.
Not a heel. And by the way, even Gato saw this in the booking, and guess what? 3 months later, put him with Chaos, more of a face faction. He should have been where Gato was, or hell yeah, where Gato was.
Yeah.
And Gato should have been where he was.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the first stupid. So he ranked him this high because he was much more of a babyface than his peers. He would often chastise Tashi Ishimori, the new Bone Soldier,
Yeah.
and Phantasmo for their heel tactics.
Yeah.
But then why have him in a heel faction? Made no
Yeah.
sense.
You did, well, once again, proof that even in New Japan, the faction thing is not always perfect because sometimes
Yes.
you don't know what you're doing with a guy. So you see, okay, let's throw it against the wall, see if it works.
Correct.
The Bucks
Correct.
have done a terrible job of it, but we'll talk about that
Oh,
later.
we'll get to the Bucks very soon here.
Over
Yujiro Takahashi.
to Takahashi.
To me, he will always get top 15 honors just because he's always been able to make himself relevant even when the booking doesn't.
And it's interesting to the American fans. Just because of the translation, Tanahashi gets mixed up a lot.
Yes.
No offense to Takahashi, but if the Japanese crowd has no problem determining the ace versus you. No offense, good sir.
No
but
offense to the Stone Pimp.
Yes.
No offense at all, but
Yes.
let's be real here. Now, he, as one of the original 7,
Yes.
was one of the first major people to turn on another faction.
Yes.
So him, to me, being 18, if he would have been between 13 and 18, no problem.
Okay.
Because while he has, and by the way, he's actually having a decent G1.
Yeah.
And I'm still catching up to that, but
Yeah. Major upset this past week. We'll talk about that when we get to the winner. But go ahead, Jesse.
I keep telling people I think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be champion in January. Zack Sabre Jr. might be the next champion in January. Anyway.
Well, but Zach is another one of those guys like Jay White that came in and has embraced everything they've asked him to do.
Yeah.
He's never – Zach's very disrespectful to Americans, but that's kind of his –
yeah.
that's his play.
I'm about to say he's disrespectful to anyone who isn't British.
Pretty much.
Even them he's disrespectful
Yes.
to, depending on where you're from.
But backstage, he's one of those guys that Gato can trust to come in and just put a banger of a match together.
By the way, it really teasing the shit out of that Daniel Bryan match he really, really wants. And we all really, really want to see.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Number
British,
17.
British and being snobby kind of goes together.
Right.
Jesse, number 17 was Chase Owens.
Odd, but not dumb. I'll explain why I didn't hate this one.
Yeah.
So Chase is a guy who has done nothing but work his ass off the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Become one of the best, one of the wrestlers you can depend on, even if it is in a tag match, to go out there and have a really, really good match, even if he's not a part of a storyline.
Yeah.
And yet New Japan really almost didn't buy into him at all.
Yeah.
He's just,
Do you think it's harder for people to get over in New Japan because of the way the audience is, I don't want to say trained to react, but how they've grown up reacting to things?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
For me, with New Japan, it's all about what direction they want to take. So in WWE, where things can kind of get haughty over here, is if it doesn't involve a title, sometimes they're very bad at writing storylines.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Yeah.
Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they are.
Yeah.
New Japan, it's not on the same level as bad as WWE, but it's kind of close to the same thing.
Yep.
Where if it's not a championship storyline or building to a championship storyline, it's not that the storyline is bad. It's just guys have a rivalry for about 3 or 4 weeks. They wrestle a bunch of matches and then they move on, which is fine. But Chase, you get lost in the shuffle a lot when that happens.
Yeah.
And Chase Owens is a guy who probably should be a 2-time junior heavyweight champion, and he's not.
Okay.
Should be a 2-time never open weight champion, and he's not.
Yeah.
But this year, there seems to be some belief in him finally, and I think some good things are going to happen. Plus, I think he's going to be the first guy of this Bullet Club to actually split off from them.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Number 16 was
El Phantasmo. Once again, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've ever seen an El Phantasmo match.
No,
Leroy?
just not in Japan. No.
Yeah.
Impact, I believe, right?
Yeah, I've seen it in Impact stuff, but not in Japan. I haven't seen him in Japan.
So El Phantasmo is probably outside of homeboy from TH2, and I don't mean Jack Evans. It's
Angelico.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, no.
It was one of the
I
most
like him too.
underrated technical wrestlers I've ever seen. And when I say underrated, I mean like because he's lanky and can sometimes fly every now and then.
Yeah.
You forget El Phantasmo, just like Angelico, is a very like ground-based wrestler because they got their chops in Mexico. And so your first thought, because they got their chops in Mexico.
He's also from Vancouver, British Columbia.
He's
so
from, he's from Canada.
He's a Canuck.
He's a Canucker.
Is that you're thinking, okay, the high flyer probably because they got their chops in Mexico. No. There's a lot of really excellent technical wrestlers that are from that region.
Yeah.
And all that dude does is have 3 to 4 star matches.
Yeah. And it's some people, as I always say, I saw him in Impact, not in Japan. It's like some people that know, but people that don't realize it is like they have a style here, but then there's a different style in Japan.
Well, that's why they send you on excursion is to get
just so
experience
people,
because New Japan's going to ask you to work against a lot of different talent, and you might as well learn it from the source.
Yeah, it's
because
like most people.
The dojo knows what their limits are in terms of teaching wrestlers.
Correct. What they will do in the dojo is show you how to work a New Japan style match, but then they want to send you on excursion to learn other styles that incorporate to what they've shown you.
Yeah.
So when you come back, you can grow on your own. They're going to give you a chance by giving you matches, and the more they see out of you, there's more of a chance. That's why Jay White elevated so damn quickly, because when he came back, you're like, yo, he improved so much since he was a young boy.
I just want to explain to anybody
beat
out
up
there
by,
that is so used to
getting beat up by Suzuki doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but
we all
it hurts, but it doesn't hurt your future.
And by the way, Jay White is someone we thought would join Suzuki when he came back.
Yeah,
because he was actually a heel when he went off to excursion in UK. But finish what you were saying, Lee.
But no, I just wanted to say that for anybody that is not used to watching, I don't watch a lot of New Japan wrestling, so some people don't know about the different styles.
Correct.
Yeah, there's an American style, and then there's European style, there's a Japanese
correct
style. Just to get that out
yeah.
for everybody to understand that.
Yeah.
Correct. So, and then there's guys who can mix them all together, and they're really great. Now, number 15 is Hangman Adam Page.
A little high.
This is high.
Say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His character when he was...
Because you said he only made 2 trips to Japan.
2 or 3.
Okay.
Maybe 4. Now, he was always capable of a good match.
Yeah.
But he was a terribly bland character for like 3 years.
I don't think people realize you gave a kid a noose and you called him Hangman Adam Page, and you really didn't have anything past that because it's not like he was hanging dudes. It's not like he was using. I mean, Jesse. Obviously, maybe a couple years ago he could have got away with it. Not now, but it's not like he went to a black wrestler and like held it up or something like that. I mean, it's like he really didn't make anything with the noose.
And he, once again, by the way, proves the point of if you're going to go to AEW as a tag team, do not allow the Young Bucks to influence anything you do. These guys know shit about gimmick wrestling.
But here's the fun part. Why was he called Hangman?
Because of the noose.
But that's it?
Yeah. That's literally it.
Yeah. They gave it,
All right.
Now, it makes more sense now because he's of course, he's from West Virginia.
He's been doing cowboy shit.
And so he's lived out more of what his dad was, which was a ranch cowboy.
Yeah.
So now he's made the nickname make way more sense.
Yeah.
To give him a lot of credit.
But around this time,
growth.
no one really knew.
But years ago when he started, fucking stupid. So very, very, a little bit too high. I would have put him at 20.
Okay. Ishimori
Probably should be higher, to be honest. So Ishimori is exactly what they wanted Kenny to be.
Yeah.
Which is just a guy they sent to the junior division to dominate. Which, by the way, damn near a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's getting very close. I think one more really strong run, and he could probably leave and do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And they will put him into the New Japan Pro Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
He, especially, like I tell people, you can find them on YouTube now because New Japan just put them up for free, thank God, because they want people to see it.
Yeah.
His rivalry with Hiromi Takahashi, I believe.
Okay.
Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah.
Time Bomb. crazy son of a bitch. These dudes go out and damn near try to kill each other for 30 minutes. That's what they do. But they're the greatest. They're AEW matches, but great. That's what these matches are. Like,
okay, that's good. That's a good analogy there. Yes.
There's not a lot of interference. Like, very rarely in a Taji match does Bullet Club actually come out.
Yeah.
Now people might like come out and like hang with them for a second, but then they always have the spot where Red Shoes like sees them, maybe try to trip up a field, and then they get thrown out.
It always seems like Bullet Club, when they're being used, they're literally just there to chill, but also wreak havoc.
And then at some point, especially when, and they always, because Red Shoes is probably, now that Earl Hebner isn't what he used to be.
Yeah.
Is probably the greatest referee in wrestling. Cause
I thought he retired. Red Shoes.
He might have now.
I think he did.
I think he did recently, but back then, just a little hint in the main event: if you interfere, and he'd throw your ass out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Nobody was rooting.
He went throughout the match, but he'd throw you the fuck out.
Oh yes. Nobody messed with Red Shoes.
Like it was not a game with Red Shoes.
Jesse, we are now officially at one of the founding members.
Tonga Loa, the brother of the actual founding member. Now Tonga actually came in a year and a half after him and his brother Finn Balor, who is on the list. And we'll get to him.
Yeah.
As known as Prince Devitt at the time.
Yes.
He actually came in a year later.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, he was actually still wrestling in the Indies.
Yep.
And his brother was trying to get him to New Japan because at first, in his first run with New Japan, he didn't actually like.
I think people just look at God and they think founding member a lot of the
time.
Correct. So when I say founding member, I say what Americans would see as a founding member.
True.
Because again, Bullet Club got to America with Kenny and the Bucks, but God was kind of there long before.
I was about to say God was there way before the Elite got there.
But anyway, so so Tonga Loa.
So Tonga Loa.
Now, okay, Tonga is actually a biological son, isn't he?
So yeah, I mean,
because Tama is adopted into the family.
Tama is technically adopted, but it's like a weird second wife. Something like that.
Yeah,
so he's still related, but he's been fully adopted in by the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also,
you want to tell me that family don't own wrestling right now? Good. I don't know if they'll ever not own wrestling. My God.
I was about to say, the generations coming up are maybe even a little better than some of them.
Oh, boy.
So,
the young Fatu is about to do amazing things in NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he's already been wrestling for 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
He's going to already know what he's doing when he starts.
Yep.
Another founding member, actual founding member, Doc Gallows.
Yes.
Luke Gallows from WWE.
Festus.
Festus. The other Kane.
All things that happen.
I could go on and on and on with Luke Gallows.
Yep.
The normal.
Yep. All things that happen.
Here's what's weird. Gallows never gets his due as a Bullet Club member in this sense, and I mean it in this sense. He actually might be a better wrestler than Carl was in his prime.
Yeah.
And yet he just didn't get the opportunities. It's almost followed him his whole career.
Yeah.
Where it's like everyone just sees him as a tag team wrestler.
Yeah.
Or a side wrestler to a main eventer, quote unquote, CM Punk.
Which at the time Machine Gun was.
Yeah. And then, but Doc Gallows can go out and put on a great singles match if you let him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Doc Gallows is one of the founding members. If you put, in this case at 13 or 12, excellent spot. Here's the first egregious and maybe the most fucking egregious on this list.
And we're not even in the top 10 yet.
We're not.
All right.
We're
just
number 11.
outside of it.
We're at number 11.
All right.
Adam Cole. Go ahead, boys.
Baby.
I love Adam Cole. Let's get this out the way.
Yes, you do.
Adam Cole is the Shawn Michaels of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
He will be wasted in his 4 years here in AEW, probably.
Yes, unfortunately.
But he is when someone first told me to check him out in Ring of Honor 2012, and I watched some of those matches, I went, "Fuck! How has WWE not picked this guy up yet?"
He wasn't graced with the ability to be 6'1".
Like, Shawn Michaels only retired 2 years prior to me seeing that match, and I'm looking at 2004 like sick Shawn Michaels here, like probably the best Shawn has ever fucking been.
I think Shawn's best in-ring career was when he was no longer the main event, but just be a guy who could be in the main event scene. Arguably,
well, and it was weird because
in-ring.
When he returned from his injury, he told them, "I don't want any championships when I come back."
Yeah.
Because he actually felt that led to a lot of his addictions.
Yeah.
Adam Cole. What WWE proved is Adam Cole is capable of not only being a main eventer, but leading his own main event faction.
And let me remind people, WWE proved that. Not Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, all respect to the boys over in Guerrilla. Not New Japan, not Ring of Honor. WWE, NXT proved that. So
because while he might be perfect for the elite, as he puts, he was fucking horrible for Bullet Club. You see, and this is why, and we're going to get to the Young Bucks after this because they're coming up.
Oh, yes.
This is why there's people who, especially over in Japan, they love Bullet Club through and through.
Yeah.
And they fucking hate the Young Bucks. Bullet Club, when Prince Devitt started this faction, right?
Yeah.
When Prince Devitt started the faction, it was supposed to be more westernized but fit into the New Japan world, which means while you're all a part of a faction, there could be multiple guys that could be world heavyweight champions.
Yes.
But that just proves that the faction is worth its merit.
I think the obviousness there would be the Rogue General, who's coming up later on the list. But he's the prime example of could easily take that heavyweight belt, and ain't nobody going to question that. Nobody going to question that. All right.
And yet, Adam Cole, baby.
I should get Claire in it for that.
Is someone I would never have put before I saw him in NXT, because to be in the main event of Ring of Honor tells me, especially on the level that like Bryan did it and CM Punk before him did it.
Joe was there
Samoa
as well.
Joe, Christopher Daniels. You're like, okay, well these are guys that should probably be working in higher profile companies. If fucking that company that bought them out still can't get it together, because I don't think they actually care.
Yeah.
But
Sinclair, I think.
Yeah. If they can't get their shit together, they deserve to be in a WWE. Hell, maybe be upper mid carders around the Intercontinental title thing. Picture, because these are guys that can work their way into the main event.
Yeah.
Basically, allow Vince to see them in action enough where he knows.
I honestly don't think Randy Orton, even with the lineage, was going to be a true main eventer unless he had a good run with the Intercontinental title with Edge.
It was not only that, but to give them credit, I guess I got to give Paul his fucking due, even though he was getting on that run of terror still. It was near the end of it.
Yeah.
It was the fact that, he can be in a story with Triple H, and he belongs here.
Yes.
He could be in a story with The Undertaker, and he belongs here.
Yeah.
All right, this guy's the main eventer.
Also, by the way, his father didn't really take away from that story. His father was great in there. His father was in as much as he needed to be for it to be an almost perfect story.
I agree. It's egregious because he's basing it off of his love of the elite, basically, when I read through his reasoning.
Number 9, Jesse, was Kenta.
Actually, number 10, Cody.
We all want to forget about Cody right now, especially me.
Well, I want to forget about Cody right now.
I have to keep watching about that show. So anyway.
Did you watch the second episode?
I've watched the first 4. It's nothing changes. It's literal garbage.
I'm praying for you, man.
It's literal garbage.
I would say I'm praying for you.
There's no helping me.
But there's no helping you there.
There is no God.
Cody
having to watch Blandy Rhodes is just an absolute pain.
Pregnant Brandy.
There is one. He's just gone.
I just said Blandy because she has no personality.
Well, no.
At all. She is a beautiful woman. That's all God gave her. Anyway.
Cody Rhodes.
But you liked his run with
deserves to be in the top 5.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because I've always said, in hindsight, maybe Kenny shouldn't have been the leader. It probably should have been Cody. Cody is more believable. And here is the thing. Back then.
Yes.
Today we are not speaking on his AEW run. Anyway, but back then, And I think a lot of that comes from working for 4 years Randy Orton, who was one of the best heels of his day.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And during this run, especially
there's
Ring
a lot
of
of
Honor,
similarities to the early Viper gimmick.
to the American Nightmare gimmick.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
He had swagger. He was sophisticated in what he did.
And by the way, he did the smart thing, which was,
All right.
and a part of the character, a part of the character was, wait a minute, I came from up
Weird.
north.
Aaron here.
I came from that company in Connecticut.
Yes.
You guys are fucking beneath me.
Yes.
Which worked.
Yes.
Which worked.
Yes.
Like, because then people were like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then, like I said, I don't know if it's the relationship he ended up developing with the Young Bucks and all that, but, like, his run originally with New Japan, which, by the way, started in Japan, not in Ring of Honor.
Yes.
A lot of people think it started in Ring of Honor. It started in Japan.
Yes.
Because he showed up to I think he showed up after they beat up and kicked out AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Who was then, like, the next day on a flight, which Samoa Joe picked him up to do in the Royal Rumble. Incredible story, by the way.
Yeah.
Because AJ was like, I basically slept 3 hours. Samoa Joe gets me to the arena. And Vince is like, well, first of all, you're going to go at number 2 with Roman Reigns, and you're going to last an hour.
It was 3, actually.
Oh, yeah. But he was just like, and you're going to last over an hour in this thing. And he's like, well, this is kind of my first Royal Rumble. He's like, go talk to Pat. You'll get it in 5 minutes. Like, that's how much belief Vince already had in the guy.
Yes.
That's about right.
Yes. And by the way, folks, still one of those moments where I actually didn't watch it live. I saw someone posted in the lounge while I was at bowling that night, and I actually sat there and in front of people that didn't know wrestling was like, oh, shit, he's actually here.
I lost my mind. Because the rumor was out that he had signed the contract.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, that means he'll probably debut after the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he just had a fucking match on Saturday night.
Yes.
A grueling ass title match on Saturday night. And no, give him credit, not even 24 hours later, in the U.S. Lasted an hour in the fucking Royal Rumble. Insane.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's hard
Future
to
Hall of
last an
Famer.
hour in the Royal Rumble when you just worked SmackDown 48 hours before. And now, but like you said, AJ was on a red-eye flight.
This is why, to me, if you ask me who the best wrestler of my generation is, it's AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close.
No.
It's not even close. Number 9, Kenta. Oh, my God.
Kenta just got there.
But he's right. This is one of the few ones where I actually agreed with him wholeheartedly.
Okay.
What a brilliant fucking move. Because when he first came back, he was kind of flat as a babyface.
Yeah.
Working with his friend Shabash. I should know his name. He's legendary, and he trains all the wrestlers. Shabashi, something like that.
Yeah.
And he comes back, and he had a hell of a G1 when he first came back.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Won 9 matches. Which usually doesn't happen when you first come back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you maybe win 6, but you're losing like 4
And by
or 5.
the way, folks, Kenta's run in WWE was not derailed by bad creative. It was derailed by injury.
It was derailed by injury. It's actually someone they believed in, and they wanted him to work his way back through 205 Live, and it just never worked out.
No.
But my God, he turns on his friend. He joins Bullet Club. And before the pandemic, the man was on a tear.
He was.
I actually believed
That
for
was
a
his
second.
old school Bullet
Yes.
Club, as I think anyone has
Yes.
gotten in a long time. Because he was causing chaos. No pun intended.
Okay.
By the way, he would have interfered in matches that had no other Bullet Club members. He just wanted the damn title. Like, that was the old leadership right there. That's what they used to do.
Yeah.
Because they were like, wait a minute, who the fuck are these guys? And I want that gold.
Yes.
Kenta was on a tear. Now, the pandemic didn't help.
Nope.
Everything shut down, especially in Japan.
Yep.
They've been getting him back on track. But his run so far since he's been back, especially in Bullet Club, has been astoundingly awesome. And by the way, also shows the merit of Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Another guy that could be IWGP Heavyweight Champion at some point.
All day,
Yeah,
any
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Insane. They could probably have 4 of these guys.
Jesse, number 8.
Way too fucking low.
8
Way too low.
is the king.
Way too low. This pissed me off. This is King Jay White. This is the damn king.
You're wearing the shirt, sir.
This is Jay White, damn it. This is the man. This is the guy. If he leaves New Japan, you're all hopeless. This is Jay White, and he's number 8. This tells me he doesn't know Bullet Club.
No.
Jay White's been the best leader since AJ Styles.
And Jay White was somebody that, like you said, went through the dojo very quickly, was sent on excursion and came back, and all of a sudden they were like, oh, he got better. We don't have...
Leroy, this is all I need to tell you about Jay White.
Jesse,
he's younger than Zach.
He is.
He's 26 years old.
Yes. One question about excursion, Jesse. How many guys come back from excursion and have to go back to the dojo for like a period of time just to sort of like brush up?
Very rare.
Very, very rare.
Kenta was probably one of the few because they wanted to make sure he could still work the style.
Yeah. He was in NXT for a while. People have to remember.
Where was my guy from my dude Hiroki Goto?
Yeah.
Also, when he came back from injury, he volunteered to go to the LA dojo, not only work with them, with the young boys in the LA dojo, but to get himself kind of ready to come back. Very rare that they do that, but if the wrestler wants to do it, they're more than welcome to go.
Well, but Jay White was one of those guys that you just looked at and said, he's but again, I said it myself. When he debuted as Switchblade against Tanahashi, clearly they threw you right in with the ace. With
the guy that they trust the most. Seriously, the guy, if they feel like the company is failing, please take the title. like not even a question. Like he's their John Cena. He's their... I
said it to myself, it seems like a little thing, but the facial hair, I'm not saying it's made King Switch. I'm not saying that at all. But it has made him more believable in what he's doing. He's less baby-faced.
I think one of the best things that they did was a couple G1s ago, they sent him on a losing streak to start the G1.
Yes.
But what it did was it started the King character, because what it did is it made him become like, it made him show a new side of the character that was, you know, I don't need to over-physical you. I'm just gonna outthink you in this ring.
Yeah.
And you've got no fucking shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess with you the whole match. I'm gonna blow kisses to your wife in the crowd. Doesn't care.
And now, just in the way that the way he speaks is so regal. It's not just the accent. It is a very it's dismissive yet at the same way talks to you. He talks down to you.
He's the big reason why I want WWE to try to rebuild a stable relationship to trade off talent with New Japan, because I need to see the Tribal Chief versus Jay White. I need it.
Yes.
I know they're both heels, but the talking during the match, you'll forget they're both heels. He could be like, yo, who's going to fuck whose wife when they're done here? Because somebody's going to have to one-up somebody at the end of this match.
Yes, actually. That is actually exactly. Wow. That's a real statement.
That's a real statement, though.
Yes. So anyway, Jesse, we get to number 7.
Bad Luck Fale, I have no problem at number 7.
Is
number
the Road
6,
General.
Number 5. One of the founding members is someone who is foundational outside of another guy that we're going to get to Bullet Club. Absolutely foundational.
And has never really wanted to be the guy.
No.
He just wants to be a general.
And he wants to smoke his beautiful cigars.
Yes.
And every now and then borrow that beautiful, beautiful, lady. They don't use the word whore or anything in New Japan.
Yes.
Which is technically what a pimp owns, quote unquote, prostitute, we'll say.
Yes.
But he wants to drink. Every now and then he wants to beat somebody, go to the mic after the match and be like, I'm going to California. I won't see you assholes for 2 months. We'll see him 2 weeks later, but he'll put on things and make himself look tanner.
He could do whatever the hell he wants.
He's Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah.
And what's funny is he's a guy who's very much has the Shawn Michaels mindset. When Shawn Michaels came back, was I don't need to be in the main event.
Yeah.
That
if you need me to fill in, if you need me to fill in because the original plan fell through,
I'll do it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't need to be in the main event.
Number 6 to piss Jesse off even higher.
Is that possible?
Oh, it is.
All right.
Fuck the Young Bucks.
What?
Fuck the Young Bucks.
They're at number 6, Leroy. The Bucks are at number 6.
Fucking kidding me.
You guys can't actually see me live. I just I just moved my hair around in frustration.
Jesse looks like me when I talked about Roads to the Top.
Oh.
This broke Jesse.
What the hell is this person thinking?
He loves the Young Bucks. That's the problem.
The sexual favors, that must be it.
Or
something.
They're too conservative for that.
Oh, right, exactly.
They're too
But they wear dresses when they're on Dynamite.
because they think
Which I had no problem with. But they think that's going to make the money.
Well, they think that's what a bad guy looks like. Okay, they're thinking like Scooby-Doo ghost costumes here. Okay,
you want to talk about a bad guy wearing a dress? No, a badass wearing a kilt. That's Piper. Okay,
I'm just going to read this word for word, and then
please do.
Right.
The Young Bucks must be given a tremendous amount of credit for the growth and popularity of Bullet Club.
People fell in love with a badass T-shirt.
They're being, by the way, which wasn't even originally theirs.
I know.
Their Being the Elite show brought and many fans in 2016, but they had been tearing it up long before then. Okay, I half agree with that. Joining the group in late 2013, the Young Bucks were Bullet Club's junior tag team for half a decade, which is true. Not only that, but they established themselves as the best tag team in the world during this time. They have never been the fucking best tag team in the world. Wrestling fans,
they might have been the highest earning tag team in the world.
Let me be real. They could be your favorite tag team. I have no problem with that because to me, wrestling is an art form.
Yes.
An art is subjective. But to call them the best tag team in the world is bullshit. The Usos have existed. The New Day has existed. Hell,
FTR was in NXT.
FTR. Johnny and Tommaso. I'm naming them.
Gallows and Anderson were in their own faction.
Remember you once said if you start naming them, Jesse, you might get to 30? I'm starting to think of probably 30 before I even get to them.
Yeah.
They've never been the best tag team in pro wrestling. Not even in their own group.
Can we also point something out? What has been left out of this article so far, and we haven't even gotten to the reason why they were in Bullet Club, they were a secondary thing that Gato said, okay, you come with the cleaner. That's what you come with. You're not actually something that I care that people don't realize. This has been confirmed by Brian Last's sources. Jesse, you've had people confirm this. We've all seen articles. They were a secondary thought when Gato was coming up with Bullet Club material.
Correct.
They were not. They were there because Omega was a star.
Yes.
They were there because they related to a lot of the Japanese culture for cartoons, video games, that type of stuff. But they were not there.
They were marketable, insanely marketable, which is fine.
As smarmy, good-for-nothings. Ne'er-do-wells, I should say.
But they have never been.
From Leroy's era, the ne'er-do-wells.
There you go.
They have never been the best tag team in the. By the way, because Tama Tonga is coming up. And
we didn't even talk about the fact that God was running wild through everybody in the heavyweight division.
God is a top 5 tag team. You just disrespected them in your own article of your own opinions. Wow, Tempest. You know what? Stop wearing a pink mask. Wear one that covers your whole face. I don't even watch the reviews of SmackDown anymore. Because he can't honestly review a SmackDown without comparing it to AEW and coming up with bullshit reasons why AEW's better.
And AEW can't get past Raw, which we'll explain later.
Oh yeah.
We're in the top 5. We are in the land of what they normally would call giants of the sport. We're in the land of the true Bullet Club. Jesse, AJ Styles, I believe you would have him higher. But are you okay with him being top 5?
I have no, as long as he's in the top 5.
Okay.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
If he would have been 10, you would have had to stop me from driving to Canada and committing international murder because I would have considered it.
No, I would have gone with you and had syrup.
Okay, so well, you got to bring some syrup to Canada.
Yes.
I would have had some of their 0.8 beers, not the 0.3 we're allowed down here.
But we also got to make sure we're going to bring a couple hockey sticks with us for safety.
We'll just stop by Evelyn on the way up.
There we go.
We'll just get that big son of a bitch.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll be able to carry that. Put it on
AJ
top of the Jeep.
Styles.
Yep.
I hate to say it. I don't think as a pure wrestling fan, me and many others can stop slobbing on his knob enough. The man is the greatest performer of the last 20 years.
And he's only 20-some matches away from having more matches in WWE than he ever had in TNA.
Impact, yeah.
That's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
I did see
he's
that,
only about 20 matches away, which he's going to have by the end of the year, probably.
Probably.
That really shocked me. I was like, what?
He'll have, forget live events, he'll have
surprised.
20 more televised matches.
People forget, TNA released him in his run with them 5 separate times.
Yep.
Dixie Carter, this is the reason why you don't run that company anymore. Anyway, but...
But again, Dixie thought that she was TNA, and TNA was AJ's house.
Yeah, there was.
There's no more praise to heap on him. I could probably just call him a wrestling god, and I think most wrestling fans would be like, acceptable.
Number 4,
totally
founding member, the man himself, the leader of God.
See, this is my problem with wrestling fans, not us.
All right. Yeah.
And there's a lot of them I love, even when we disagree with them,
Yes.
okay? Including, hell, Eric from DPW.
Yeah.
We just have a natural disagreement on things.
Yes.
But for the most part, he tries to make his points make sense and why he feels that way.
Yeah.
And I have no problem if we still disagree. Just make it make sense, right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
So, in his thing about the Young Bucks, he said they made themselves into the best tag team in the world. But Tama Tonga, by the way, who looks like he might, and very well
Ladies and gentlemen, the upset of maybe the last 5 G1s.
Not even close.
Is Tama Tonga beat the Golden Boy.
Yeah. He beat Okada.
He beat the Japanese Rock.
With no help.
Yes.
Cleanly. I got to say this. So you admit that Tama Tonga is in your top 4. And in the same fucking article, even though him and his brother, even before the Usos, have been probably the best tag team of the last 10 years.
But Jesse, he clearly doesn't want Gorilla.
Oh, but ain't nobody realer than Gorilla. And I said it. Tama Tonga is that dude. But it hurts your argument when 2 spots later, you talk about a guy who's been a part of probably one of the best tag teams of the last decade.
A match, if we could have gotten it, give me 5 years. Yeah, give me 6 years ago, because there was that year where they were a little hurting off. Both of them were a little scratched up. If you could have found a way to give me Usos versus God.
Hell, I think if you can give it to me now, just once, because they're both still in really good shape.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that for peak tag team wrestling, I would say 6 years ago. The Usos were a little nicked up, I would say 3 years ago.
Because here's the most interesting part. All a part of the same family. That's all the Anai family.
Yeah.
That's all the Anai family. So
I thought my family was pretty big.
No.
Dwarf
The Anais have a lot of family members.
The Anoa'i Fatu legacy will span beyond any wrestling fan. I hate to say
generations.
It's beyond the Von Erichs.
Yes.
Maybe not in Texas, but it's beyond the Von Erichs. It's beyond the Flairs.
Yes.
It's beyond the Hart family. The first family
Well,
of
because
wrestling.
at this point, it doesn't look like Ashley is trying to have any kids anytime soon. So,
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think after her, that's probably it for the Flair kids.
Could be.
But my point is this: is that the Anoa'i Fatu legacy is Yokozuna.
Yeah.
It is Afa and Sika.
Correct.
It's the Headhunters. It's Rikishi.
Correct.
It's a family of they know how to tag team wrestle, but as proof with what Jay did while Jimmy was hurt, they can single all damn day. Now, don't get me wrong.
It's true. It's true.
God proved that before the Usos,
Yeah.
but I don't think Jay was ready for that slot, especially considering the Usos were that hot as a tag team.
True.
And then when Jimmy's gone, you have no choice.
Yeah.
And then Jay said, "Oh, yeah, I'm not putting him in Tama's league as a singles guy, but he proved that it's there."
I'll be honest, because people ask me, well, I've been asked, what do you think of Tama as a singles wrestler? I'm like, in the ring, he's insane. He's not insanely close to anyone in his family. He's insanely close to Randy Orton. Like, when Randy's on his game, Randy Orton, that's Tama. Like, where you're like, whoa.
Randy half-asses it, and And when you find out, because by the way, just ask Randy. He'll tell you the nights he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, he'll openly admit it.
He'll tell you the nights he didn't
shit
shit.
about
But
this
then you go back and watch, and you're like, how are you not caring here? And that's what Tama can probably do.
But Tama, it's almost like Randy. It's almost natural.
The promo he cut on the ROH boys is still one of the most legendary promos.
Having that natural talent that you see him wrestle once to see what he can do, and you get to see it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, wow, where does that come from?
And then he talks about how they were able to still have a brawl after a match, and it's like that proves you're not on New Japan level.
Right. Number 3, Kenny Omega. Now listen,
we're talking about before the veil got removed. We're talking about the cleaner. And by the way, to those people on the internet who keep telling me that the cleaner came back, we have not seen the cleaner in almost 5 years.
We have not.
No.
AEW started 3 years ago. We haven't seen the cleaner in 4 years.
Okay.
Let me be very, very clear.
Yes.
And he looks different again.
I know.
There was, and maybe, like I said, I just now believe this is a lot of Gato's booking.
Yeah. And obviously the brilliance of Kazuchika Okada.
Oh, by the way, and Ibushi.
Yes.
The ageless fucking wonder, Ibushi.
Ibushi, folks, I'm not joking. I actually think Ibushi might wrestle at 60, and I'm going to look at him and be like, you ain't 25. Anyway.
Right. That's a high chance. Kenny Omega, at this point in his career, I thought was beyond a shadow of a doubt the absolute best pro wrestler on the planet. Because every time I watched him in a match, I said, there's nothing he can't do. He could tell a story. By the way, this is before he started doing 7 fucking knees to the face in a match. 7 would be underselling it. 37.
There we go. Yeah, that's right.
V triggers.
You think John Cena only had 5 moves of doom? Name.
Oh my god.
Name 6 moves that Kenny's got. I'm serious.
Right now.
Name 6 moves Kenny Omega can do outside of
a suplex, a German.
Hold on. Snapdragon,
mm-hmm.
V trigger,
mm-hmm.
one winged angel, flip over the top. After that, I can't specifically point to. I got 4 moves here, folks. I got 4 moves.
V trigger with his left, V trigger with his right.
It's still one move. Oh, hold on. I forgot to mention the ability to go adieu. I guess we'll call that a move.
Oh.
Because he ain't got much else.
That's not a move. That's in Japan. That was actually kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Now it's not.
Yeah.
Send
the people home happy. Yeah. You send them home happy because they no longer have to watch you.
I'll be honest. I was a guy who believed, like some others did, he's their next ace, just because of how good he was. And
I'm still shocked he left. Was it because of the run, do you think, that was sort of undercut by him? Because Jesse, you and I both agree. They botched his reign.
Especially the end of it.
Yes.
Well, here's the interesting part. I hate to tell everyone from All Elite Wrestling.
One week.
He only signed that contract with Tony 1 week before that press conference. He was insanely considering going to WWE.
So basically, Jesse, between 8 to 10 days before he signed, Paul Levesque was in his ear.
Paul Levesque, and then Vince McMahon sent Paul Levesque a check to send to Kenny Omega, and Kenny looked at it for a long time. A real long time.
By the way, folks, Kenny, in my opinion, is a classic sort of Vince guy.
Yeah.
Kenny was someone that, they would have worked the happy feet out. They would have said slow down a bit. But he's so showy that it's something that Vince... Now, okay, no offense clearly to Adam Cole, but I think Adam Cole is subtly Shawn Michaels. He can show it when the money's right. But Kenny every night was showing Shawn Michaels.
Well, Kenny every night, to me, was just the best all-around pro wrestler. At this time.
Yes.
The best all-around pro wrestler in the world. And with Vince and those guys working with him, what he would have been is it's Brian almost used it as a dirty word when he was talking about the overprotection of him when he came back from the neck injury and the concussions. But he would have been protected. Like, Vince would have protected him because he'd be like, well, listen, he's 36. I could probably get 10 years out of him.
Yeah.
let's do some good stuff with him.
Yeah.
He can put on great matches.
Yep.
He's an okay talker. We'll make it work. Because
Kenny-
he would have got rid of the ado shit.
Yes.
He would have been like, don't say that in my fucking ring.
Don't do that.
And be careful of the breathy thing. But otherwise, because you're going to, with the way you talk, you're going to get a lot of what's out there.
Yep.
But otherwise, you're not bad.
That's the other thing that people don't realize.
That started in AEW.
Yeah.
He did not do that in New Japan.
I just want to point something out. People have to understand something. The audience of WWE, when they're on the internet, are different than when you're live in the arena.
Correct.
When you're live in the arena, you're immersed by what Vince creates. And,
Correct.
And it's all Vince.
Correct.
It's all Vince. You're immersed. Because remember, I said the Minneapolis crowd, not because I was there, but if you go back and watch that initial run after COVID, that was probably the most wrestling crowd because we just allowed the show to be what it was.
Yeah.
But my point is this, is that no, you get immersed in it. And by the way, Alice and I are going back to Raw in November, and we have lovely seats. By the way, folks, they're only so that Allison can yell at Corey every time Corey speaks. Allison is going to make sure she is heard on those mics.
I'm looking forward to hearing her go, "You suck!"
Oh, it's going to be a lot more than that. But anyway,
We're gonna have to bleep her out.
I can't wait. He deserves it. Fuck that guy.
But anyway, here's the deal. No, Kenny Omega has only himself to blame for the fact that he's now getting wanted. Because again, the wrestling audience, when you're immersed, they actually start to realize, oh shit, you're meh.
You're right.
And that's the nice way of putting that.
And I mean, in the WWE, you can build him as a main eventer.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't.
And the momentum would have been huge for him at the time because he just came off being the IWGP champion. Which, by the way, Brock, AJ, prime examples.
And think who was already on the main roster: AJ.
Yeah.
Finn, Roman, Seth, Dean hadn't left quite yet.
All guys you could have had a match with.
Like, now you're telling those guys, hey, we're going to bring in Kenny Omega. They're going to be like, well, it's and building up Drew and to get him to be a main eventer.
Yeah.
Brock kind of around as a part-timer, you'd have been like, all right, well, this is a hell of a main event scene.
I don't know if Brock could have standed working with Kenny. Unless Kenny had been in their system for a year and they beat some of that shit out of him, I don't. Brock Lesnar would have been annoyed beyond hell.
Well,
because Ray doesn't have happy feet. Brian never had happy feet. The smaller AJ, the smaller guys that Brock is used to working with, they're very poised. They're very in control.
Yeah.
They're very knowledgeable about what they're doing.
Right.
And I hate to say it, when Kenny's in ring, he forgets everything that makes because we're going to talk here in a little bit later about. Oh my God, AEW fans are actually enjoying real wrestling. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we'll finish this up. So, Omega, you agree or disagree? This era of Omega should be top 3. I'm not going to ask you one or two. Top 3. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
no problem.
Number 2, Machine Gun.
No problem.
Yeah.
My problem was with him now.
Yes.
Because back then, this is a guy that it's very simple. This should be their biggest regret as far as a non-Japanese wrestler.
Yeah.
Because Carl Anderson should have been a heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Because during this time, all he did, especially during that G1, was go put out classic matches that even if you watch now, you go, fuck, he's this good? And he embodied everything about Bullet Club. Because he's one of the founding members.
Carl, in recent years, yes, it was obvious there was going to be a physical deterioration based on age, but his attitude has also been very questionable in the sense that he leaves WWE and he's got such a bitter attitude towards I don't know what. It's almost like he didn't get a singles run in WWE, but it was like, bro, you were done being a singles competitor. That's why they put you with Gallows over in New Japan to begin with.
For the most part, yeah.
So I guess, again...
To be honest, the tag team stuff probably hurt him a little bit.
When you push yourself into this sort of journalistic world that we are now in, we have to ignore our certain things when we're talking about certain eras.
Yeah.
But no, like Jessie says, Carl Anderson lost the G1, and it's a really fun story for Jay White to say that's when you peak. But Jessie, like you said, if they botched Omega's run, they botched never giving Carl a run to begin with.
Yeah, for sure.
And okay, number 1, I don't think was ever in debate.
Listen, if he wasn't number 1, then your list means nothing.
I agree with you there.
If he's not number one on this list, your list means nothing. It's
Nothing-
Prince Devitt, it's Finn Balor.
Nothing against Vince, but the greatest era of Fergal's life in wrestling will have been as the top of Bullet Club.
Because here's the thing.
Life in wrestling, I should say.
There is nothing that Finn cannot do.
Yes.
There is nothing that he cannot sell, he cannot get over. And by the way, without him starting Bullet Club, I don't even think he becomes a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I think 2-time. Because this was a guy that they were going to keep in the junior division. Blessfully, when he started this group, it allowed him to work with their heavyweight wrestlers, which even now they still don't believe in doing a lot with the junior heavyweights.
But here's the deal. There are times when a guy comes along, like a Bryan Danielson, like an AJ Styles, like a Fergal,
correct,
and you're just like, oh,
yeah, okay, this dude is that guy. And by the way, just a little side note: back then when he painted himself,
three-time junior heavyweight champion, six-time junior heavyweight tag team champion, twice with Minoru, 4 times with Taguchi, and he won the best of the Super Juniors twice, and he was the 6-man open weight tag team champion with Goto and Taguchi.
Okay, so he just had a ton of IDW heavyweight title shots.
Yes, never won the heavyweight.
Didn't win the heavyweight, but he had a lot of shots.
Maybe a guy that maybe didn't need it.
He was such a legend in their junior division that I think a part of my brain always thought he won it twice, because to me everything he did, which by the way, Young Bucks, you can thank him, and stop taking credit for everything, because if not for Devitt, you don't exist. Period. If Bullet Club doesn't happen, you don't get AEW.
So you agree with the top 3? Not that we're cutting Prince Devitt's accolades short, but once again, I don't think there's anything more we can say.
It's almost like AJ Styles. What else is there to say?
Oh yeah.
Now, okay. So you are not happy with the overall list. You agree with some of it. Overall on this list, I think you're giving it a 3 out of 5.
Oh, you're kinder. I'm giving it a 2.5.
Whoa. Okay.
The Adam Cole, Evil, and Gato, and Young Buck rankings are fucking egregious. Because if you actually feel like you understand the history of New Japan, especially the Young Bucks, they aren't that high.
They don't make top 10.
They're barely top 15.
Okay.
Boys, you're splashy. That's it. We can move on.
All right. So, we move on from that.
All right.
It is now time. I don't care if you're starting to play an internet character, Mr. Tony Khan. We have to have a little discussion here, Tony, you and me.
Go ahead, Zach.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, Tony Khan made me right this time. Eric's made me right. The Lounge has made me right. Jesse's made me right.
Unfortunately.
Leroy even bet against me once and was like, yeah, that was a dumb bet for me to take. Folks, WWE got moved for the American League Championship Series.
Correct.
It's happened since the dawn of time that wrestling gets moved for major sports events.
Correct.
That is not news. That is not Fox saying that, we're moving away from WWE. No, this happens.
Correct.
Okay? The WWE's A show, the best thing going in wrestling right now, outside of maybe Strong, because Strong is just starting to come up amazingly. Folks,
Forgive that.
ladies and gentlemen,
I've been
the WWE announced
Yeah, I'm trying to.
The WWE announced 2 weeks ago on Friday that they would be on FS1, which, yes, is in less cable households.
Correct.
But, just a quick note, FS1, The Herd is now one of the most watched shows.
So is Undisputed.
But Undisputed is actually now beating First Take, and First Take's on national
ESPN,
cable.
yeah.
On national cable.
Yeah.
Like, you can get ESPN if you have YouTube TV.
So, folks, the WWE announces, if you go to FS1 and you watch, we're going to give you an extra half hour on a super-sized SmackDown, which, by the way, gave us Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, which will never be a bad match.
No.
Because Sasha is clearly Sasha is the in-ring GOAT of all wrestling.
You get the man and the boss.
And also the fact, guys, we like I keep saying, we got to stop the hate for Vince, because you can't tell me he won't just give you something you want to see every now and then.
Yep. But anyway, so SmackDown announces this. SmackDown says, we got it. Here you go. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for coming to FS1. We're going to give you a big show.
We're going to give you Brock and Roman in a signing.
Right before Crown Jewel, by the way.
Right.
Folks, Tony Khan, which I'm sure was after a few cocktails, which I don't know if it was praising another Rampage or being like, oh shit, the rankings or the ratings fell for an 8th straight week.
Right.
Folks, Tony Khan put out a little tweet. I'm going to paraphrase because
I don't think he's drinking or doing anything. I think he's that.
But this
not
tweet
smart.
goes out that says, I see
I
next
know.
week you're going to go an extra half hour. I look forward to the direct competition, and I look forward to beating your best show with my show. And I'm like, okay. Point number one, we have to be clear to all the AEW fans out there. Folks, Vince didn't say shit.
Nope.
WWE didn't say nothing.
Nope.
Tony laid down the gauntlet.
Correct.
And yes, Gene might be right that Tony, to put some emphasis on his shows, maybe playing an online character, but Tony Khan, it's in type. You said it. You hit send. Don't hit send, kiddo. That's why Arizona State doesn't talk.
Right. Don't hit send.
Don't hit send is pretty much probably in the locker room. But here's the deal. Tony Khan, you printed it. You sent it. Mm-hmm. You talked about it for the week leading up, and you also had the balls to say that if Ted Turner had your wrestling knowledge, he'd still have a wrestling company. He had Dusty Rhodes, and he still lost.
I was about to say, that's not even worth discussing.
We're not going there. But here's the deal. Tony Khan, you need to end, to quote, you know what? Screw it. Leroy, to you, sir.
What, number fine?
Would you?
Yeah. Tony Khan, just shut up.
All right. So that's out of the way.
We have to copyright,
we got copyright.
you saying the name and then just shut up.
Yeah, pretty much. But here's the deal. Tony. No. Okay. Point number one.
I might add a word
So,
there.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
There we go.
If you would please indulge me.
Go for it.
Vince said nothing.
No.
The WWE said nothing.
Nope.
Paul said nothing.
Nope.
Shawn Michaels said nothing.
No.
Roman Reigns said nothing on this. He said some other stuff, but he said nothing on this.
That is true. He said something.
So
on
Tony
somebody.
Khan decides, all right, for a half hour, let's do it. Also, by the way, before Tony even sent the tweet, the last half hour of SmackDown was announced for commercial free.
Correct.
That was before. Also, by the way, FS1 don't really care that much about commercials. It's mostly just promoting their own shit anyway.
I was about to say they
Well, yeah,
usually
it
just
is,
put
yeah.
up their own sports and their own shows.
Yeah.
like-
That's all that is. But here's the deal. No, okay, here's the deal. In less American households than TNT, in less American households than Turner Network Television. So, what do? You're head-to-head for 30 minutes. And the overnight ratings for Rampage.
Technically, they were actually head to head for an hour and 30 minutes, because remember the buy-in is something he counted.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. Which wasn't actually a buy-in.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the overnight viewership. SmackDown, 793,000 on FS1, which is not bad. They did
not
1 million
bad at all.
last time, but that was
to be
also.
fair, I'm sure they hate that though.
Oh no!
This
yeah,
is a
100.
show that averages 2.5 and has been growing.
Right. But anyway, but Jesse, imagine what it would have been if you supersized SmackDown on regular Fox.
Oh, I mean, this is not a competition then.
Yes.
It's
but
already
anyway,
not a
yeah.
competition.
So, yeah.
It's even
So
less.
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. Rampage. Ding. 549. Five.
I did the laugh track too.
You add 250,000. You're only 6,000 above what they got.
Yeah.
So guess what? Don't give me this crap that he's playing a character. Don't give me this crap that, blah, 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 built-in odd, blah, blah. You laid down the carpet. You invited the king into your house,
Yes, you did.
into your hour of television,
Correct.
into your world. And he fucking didn't even know you were there. You ended up on the bottom of his shoe. He scraped you off on the very carpet that you laid. When they cleaned it, they sucked you up on it.
Honestly, I think that if they looked at Vince, hey Vince, they're gonna go head for half an hour and be like, all right.
He probably didn't even know.
He
Vince does not tweet. Vince has someone doing that for him.
No, but
Vince is not going on Twitter.
He had to look.
Well, okay, pal. I mean, that's all right.
He had to look at it. It was like, what? We got the boss.
Just
and
so
it's
not always me saying it, boys.
Oh my god.
It's okay, pal.
Boys, can I just have you guys so it's not just me always bashing?
Bruce Pritchard would probably be like, is there an attraction on the show?
Yes.
And then I would want to kill Bruce Pritchard.
Yes, you would. But Jesse, over to you and Leroy for just a second
Go
before
for
I
it.
continue. Boys,
I hate Bruce Pritchard.
you really do.
Yeah, you know I really do. We know that, yes.
But here's the deal.
Go ahead.
But here's the deal. Just so it's not me being the only one doing it like maybe always.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a bad look.
I mean, well, first thing, I want to address Gene, as I call him the librarian. I love Gene. Gene's got a shit ton of knowledge. People join the PWL. You could talk to us all the time on the PWL.
Oh, yes.
We're always on there. Or also,
Oh, yeah.
the numbers are growing on the page. Keep inviting your friends. Keep showing
Yep.
up. Leroy posts a lot of stuff on
Go to
there.
YouTube,
so
please.
Go to YouTube.
Yes.
Comment on a thing. Like I said, I think we're going to try to start doing, things where we're actually going to respond to your comments in the show.
Yep.
But, Gene, whether it's a character or not, I'm actually with Gene. It's clearly a character to kind of online.
Yes.
Because to be fair, Leroy, while he also did say he won't be a character on TV, he's mostly stayed off TV.
He comes out after to work with the Acclaimed every week.
Besides,
But that's to make sure they don't say anything stupid.
right. And then besides
They did.
Well.
besides like the commercial stuff with Impact, but they
Yeah.
asked him to kind of do that.
Yeah.
He's mostly stayed off.
But
of
this
TV.
is still one of the most.
But this was stupid.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those things where you're like, was the moment he said it and he talked about the buy-in. Now, when he brought up the Daniel Bryan Minoru Suzuki, I'm like,
Brian
you know
Danielson.
what?
Really,
Sorry,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It's at some point it will get out of
Yes.
my head.
Yes, I know.
I know Steve from Steve and Larson talks about. He's like, it's really hard to make that switch because he was in WWE for so long.
He was, yeah. God.
But yeah,
Which, by the way, was an amazing match. But can I just point out from a formatting standpoint, why was it on YouTube? I know, Jesse, you said before the
I think they did that thinking they should be able to beat them on a number on YouTube. Because YouTube, they're really, even when you don't pay for YouTube, you can still watch something. If somebody has it up on their channel live, you can just watch it without any ads.
Yeah.
Because YouTube then doesn't count that, especially if you tell them not to run ads.
Yeah.
So he probably thought, and that point is not a terrible way of thinking.
No.
Like, we might be able to get them in the numbers because this is kind of a dream match. Even some of their fans want to see. And to be fair, as Zach pointed out to me off camera, the views even now
are not even in the million range.
Still, hell, they haven't even reached SmackDown's final numbers
Let me
yet.
just actually look up. You keep talking. I'm gonna look up the actual current numbers.
I was going to
on the
say,
match.
so he's going to look because because I didn't watch Dynamite this Saturday. I was out scaring people. Had a
point.
great time
There
doing
we
it.
go. They just
Had a great time doing it. I was working. They call it the Haunted Tours up here in Duluth.
Oh my!
And I have a great time scaring people. When
Oh
I'm there.
my! We are a week past, or we're now 48 hours from.
Yeah.
Jesse, it's only 8:22.
So they've barely beat SmackDown now with that match on YouTube.
A SmackDown that, by the way, I'm going to keep reminding people, was on FS1, not Fox
On their
Cable.
normal channel,
Right.
yes.
So it's a bad look because you threw it down. They didn't even respond, by the way.
No. Because again, there is actual tangible evidence. Because remember, it was in Tony's tweet. You're gonna go commercial free. You're gonna go head to head for a half hour. Jesse, everything that he mentioned he was responding to it. They didn't put it out afterwards.
Correct.
WWE said that night, Supersize SmackDown. Okay,
Well, they announced it all a week ago.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
said A, Supersize SmackDown. B, extra half hour. C, on FS1. Only one of those works in Tony Khan's favor.
Right.
Which, by the way, even if they'd won, that's still kind of like, did you really win? What would have happened if it was on basic cable? Blah,
You would've
blah,
gotten
blah.
destroyed.
But here's the deal. Guys, you come at the king, you best not miss. You didn't even hit the castle. You didn't even get in the moat. You couldn't even hit the moat.
They were Joe Webb in a playoff game against the Packers.
It was bad. It was awful.
Oh, don't remind me of that.
Both those scenarios were.
God.
You got Zach Wilson. Don't talk to me right now.
Hey, he's way better than Joe Webb was in that game.
That's fair.
But
this is bad. Leroy, this is a bad look because even Jim Cornette gave him a hand clap on the drive-through and said, "Yeah, way to go, Tony." But Jim also said, if you lose, oh boy,
Oh, yeah.
oh boy.
And it's so true. I mean,
It's trying to run before they can even walk.
Yeah.
Because by the way, folks, 2 years on television, you're crawling still.
right.
2 years on television don't mean shit.
Right.
Yeah, and
SVU's been on the air for 22 some years,
and that's better.
and now they're running, and they only started running when they got to probably season 12.
Right.
So they were on they were on the air for 11 years before they started to run with that.
Right.
So, folks, I don't know what else there is to say other than you don't get to sit here and, again, try to throw the smoke and mirrors. You can't do that to me or anyone on this show because even these two are like, this is not good.
No,
Go ahead,
And by the way, folks, your ratings, you only got about 48,000 more on Rampage than you did the week before, and CM Punk wrestled the week before.
Right.
Okay, in the last 2 months, you're overusing CM Punk. You've botched Adam Cole. Bryan Danielson ain't got nothing on him because ain't nobody telling Bryan Danielson what to do. Yes, you got Minoru Suzuki, but you put him on YouTube instead of national cable television. The hell is wrong with you? And Jesse's already pissed that Minoru Suzuki will be 4 hours away from him, and he won't be able to go.
Don't remind me.
But anyway, here's the deal, folks. This is egregious. This is actually up there with one of Tony's dumbest moves because, and we'll talk about another dumb move that'll be happening here in a second, but here's the deal, folks. Tony, stop talking. Please. It's not just shut up. It's dude, that tweet almost reached Ric Flair on Twitter levels of bad. You shouldn't have done it. You should have never thought to do it, sober or drunk. I don't care.
Right.
Dude, Jessie has said to the Bucks 1,000 times, don't act like your shit don't stink. Tony, Rampage is not the show to be putting up against.
Sorry.
That's not the show.
No, it's
to be using. It's the thing. Guys,
It's not.
Guys, here's the other problem. The crowd's dead because you're filming it after Dynamite. It's a tape show.
Correct.
Minoru Suzuki comes out. Jessie, they actually allowed the fans to sing the chorus. They got to that part. It worked. Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki, where you were when you first saw it, whether it was the day before or the day after, it doesn't matter. I watched it yesterday. It was an amazing contest. But now we move to your former executive vice presidents. Now we're just going to call them EVP because EVP is just a bunch of letters. We'll come up with an acronym for them later. We'll do that later.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Yo, Young sucks. They're starting to cheer for real wrestling. They're starting to cheer for guys throwing potatoes. They're starting to cheer for simple heel hooks, for takedowns, for kicks that actually land, don't just freaking go past you. You're in trouble, boys. Because Kenny proved he can work with it as long as somebody leads him.
Right.
But what are you going to do? What's going to happen when this company, when those fans start saying, we're better? And I'm like, really? Because you just watched a WWE-style match.
Yes, you did.
You did. You're chanting yes because they were in Miami. They were chanting C because of obviously the Spanish heritage. But folks, you're chanting yes. That was WWE. Bryan Danielson was not doing that beforehand. You're listening and popping for Flight of the Valkyrie, which was WWE. He did not have that on the Indies and ROH. Europe, by the way, was according to Bryan Danielson, they were going to charge like $200K for like half of year appearances.
Oh,
that was. They were charging out the ass for Final Countdown.
I wouldn't have bought that, but go ahead, Leroy.
I just say Tony. I mean,
this was bad.
Tony, yeah.
This is embarrassing.
This
is painful.
Shut up.
Oh, my God.
Just don't say anything.
And you can't defend it.
No
one can defend him. I'm actually sitting up here for the first time. Nobody can poke a hole in it. Even Gene saying he's playing a character online to boost up Rampage and Dynamite. I don't care. You put this out there.
Right.
Well,
this is ridiculous.
I've watched him, and I've told it. I watched him saying this, him doing these interviews. I watched a few interviews that Tony. These people doing these interviews are babying him and spoon feeding him shit to make him sound so good. He thinks his ego is huge. And it
get your soccer team right. Get your football team right. Yeah, I know you won in London there, buddy, but you were facing the 1-4, now 1-5 Miami Dolphins.
And I was looking, and if you did quote,
no comment.
And somebody put out, and I saw it. I was like, he quoted, "I have more money than you, Vince." What the hell are you saying?
You don't have the money. Daddy does.
Daddy has more money.
And by the way, Daddy doesn't mind you spending a bunch of money on this company as your vanity project. But when you want to go actually make a purchase, when you want to go actually take over a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company, yeah, Daddy ain't sending you for those negotiations.
No kidding.
That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Vince sent Shane to WCW to deal with the locker room. The actual business stuff, that was Vince and Vince alone.
Correct.
Stephanie was not prepared for that yet. Now he'd probably send Stephanie.
Yeah.
But folks, Daddy's not letting you purchase a multi-billion-dollar company.
No.
It's not happening.
Well, it's just you said yesterday. Last week, when is it going to happen where his dad's going to step in and go and stop?
Oh, it's going to be forever because Dad is basically saying, I wasn't there for you. Now, again, I don't know the Khan family dynamic, but basically what he's saying on the surface is, go spend my money. And I'm sure his sister's doing something a little more
smarter
with the money, productive with her time. But no, go spend my money while I have it. I'm not going to be here forever. But again, I wish my father, when he passed, was going to leave me the Jags, Wembley Stadium, a stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, and a soccer team that maybe someday might become a Premier League team again. Because again, you don't own a Premier League team. You own whatever they got regulated
got so
to.
bad they got kicked out of their own league.
Yeah.
But does Mr. Khan, who owns the Jaguars, does he actually believe that his son is sticking it to Vince McMahon if that's what he really wants to do?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
I doubt it.
Shad looks at his child and says, I'm proud of you for making noise, but if you want to sit down and talk about it, I can't compete with Vince because Vince had a successful football program happening before a pandemic, and people have to realize the pandemic didn't really hurt WWE because they found a way around it. It hurt AEW because you got to realize that you take away the crowd reactions, you take away the built-in chants, the built-in audience that, yes, NXT was famous for, but they were slowly becoming something like that.
Yeah.
You take away the built-in what Adam Cole does, what the Bucks did, what the fans traveled, like, okay, PWG did. When you take that away, it was meh.
Yeah.
It was.
It's
forget the ratings for 5 seconds. Forget your hatred of Vince McMahon. Forget your want of competition.
Yeah.
Just look at AEW in a vacuum. And I know I've asked people to do this since the start of this show, but look at it in a vacuum, and we'll say it again. It really wasn't that good. NXT was better. Sit down, binge NXT for the year of the pandemic. Binge AEW, and by the way, take some Narcan or something and get off the Hopamine. Folks, the better show was on USA.
True.
It was. And Jessie was actually pro AEW during the pandemic. But Jessie, you told me that you watched, I think it was like 4 straight weeks after, I think it was after the first Great American Bash.
I think so.
Yeah, you started watching. You actually came out and you said,
I said NXT is the much better show.
You said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Tony, you need to understand something. Your shit stinks, and the Febreze ain't helping anymore.
Oh, no.
Your shit stinks, and you don't want to smell it because you want to sit there and you want to be Ted Turner. No, you want to be Eric Bischoff. He wants to be Eric Bischoff at the height of this.
Hire him then.
It's not
well,
gonna
pretty much
happen.
has at this point. He's paid him to come out of Montana twice.
No.
If
actually fucking hire him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you and Jim Cornette are getting along well. So you're telling me Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff are out there, and you actually might have enough money to get them to come out of retirement.
Yep.
And you haven't done it yet?
Probably not going to happen.
Like,
He's not.
Well, and I'll say this before I let you go, Leroy. If I had, say it wasn't my dad, if I just had Shad Khan's money,
Yeah.
and I wanted to compete with Vince McMahon, hey, you two, let's go. I don't need you to focus on women's wrestling. You need to help me with the men.
Jim, you don't even have
Hey,
to
Gail
leave.
Kim, you can continue to work with Impact.
You don't have
No, Jim, you don't even have to leave Louisville.
Right.
Stay at home. Email me the format.
We're going to video conference each other at least twice a week, and you're going to make $300,000 a year.
We'll send our talent to Louisville,
Right.
and you can talk to them in person.
Right.
You don't have to leave Louisville, Kentucky.
Actually, I'll do you one better. I'll let you start OVW again. I'll pay for it. I'll let you develop some of these wrestlers that Cody and these guys have been training, and for the most part, a good job of.
Yeah.
But I'll let you develop them into pro wrestlers that we can sell.
Yeah.
Eric needs you to help me with all the creative.
Well, but here's the deal. Eric.
Gail Kim, you continue to work
God.
with Impact, but you're going to come work for me at least 2 nights a week. You're going to make $1.5 million. Why am I going to pay her more than the two men? Because I need her mind to make sure that my women's shit, especially since I would be thinking about creating a women's show on YouTube, since you're trying to go that route anyway.
Yeah.
Gail, come help me with a lot of this shit. I'm going to pay you at least 1.5.
Was it Punk, I think, actually was not a fan of the TBS title? Somebody big in that company was actually like, it might be a bit much.
I don't think it was Punk, but it was somebody decently
That was
big.
somebody.
Yeah. No, somebody thought it was a bit of a bit of a move. Things it's just
Kind of
there.
a mad move.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
But if I have access to that money, because the smart thing he did was, of course, which I figured he would do, was 2.5 months ago go, yeah, you guys aren't really creative anymore.
No.
Like, I'll take control of this.
I don't think, and I'm serious, I don't think that Danielson is there if they're still doing the same shit they were doing 2.5 months ago.
No, I doubt it.
Because
he would just go back to WWE.
Because here's the deal, folks.
Or just plain.
Let's go back to just the interviews.
Or just go to New Japan.
Yeah.
Which is what he wants to do anyway.
Let's go to the interviews of Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the interviews of Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the interviews of CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
They all love Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody brought up Kenny. Nobody said Matt or Nick. Nobody's saying Brandon Cutler by any means.
No one's definitely bringing up Cody right now.
Somebody might have brought up Nakazawa to get them coffee, but that's a whole other situation.
Well, that's right.
But
Yeah.
they are all talking about Tony is this infectious personality.
Mm-hmm.
He loves wrestling. All of this, all of it.
You got that money, man.
You got the money.
Like,
But here's the deal.
I get Jim Cornette is not always likable. I'll be the first. Say if I hired him with my wrestling company, I'll be the first one to tell people.
You're probably fighting with him one night, and then you're probably.
I'll tell people like, I try to kill him every single fucking time we talk.
Yes.
But we come to an understanding, and now we're starting to beat WWE.
Yeah.
Because he understands shit. Me and Eric Bischoff may not always agree that you don't try to market certain things like he tried to do, which is why WCW ended up failing in the end. But the man knows how to create a fucking show.
He does.
And Vince McMahon still has Paul Heyman. The best thing next to Paul Heyman you can have is Eric fucking Bischoff. Yeah, Eric Bischoff can come work for me. And why would I have Gail Kim almost kind of oversee these two as like the head of my like assistants of creation? Because one, she's going to be great with the women.
Yep.
Two, especially if I'm not trying to be a character on TV and stuff like that, well, guess what? She'd be great at it.
Yep.
Hey, I'm going to have you be a GM as well. That's why you're going to get paid more. Because I'm going to use you as my visual of authority.
Jim Cornette will handle what wrestling.
Yeah, Scott D'Amore will hate me the first 3 months, and then realize, like, actually, this is going to be better for the relationship overall.
There we go.
Jim Cornette handles what makes wrestling wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Bischoff will format the television.
Yes.
And then Gail Kim will be your on-screen
And
talent.
also, just Jim Cornette, also, like I said, hey, go talk to Cody and his brother. hey, how are you guys training these wrestlers?
Yeah.
He's going to give me the money, and he's going to pay for me to restart OVW. Let's work together.
Or just buy OVW in general, and then
Well, that's kind of the thing, but
Yeah.
like you're still going to run it, Jim.
yeah,
And then run it right there in Louisville.
yeah,
And I'm going to give you even a production value. And you know what? Like I do with Dark and Elevation, which he's doing now, which is smart, mostly Dark.
Yep.
Is I'm going to try to find a studio down there.
Yep.
You can run it almost like you would run an NWA show if you wanted to.
Yep.
I don't care, Jim. But I need these wrestlers before I start using them on Dynamite more
Yeah.
as we change the format.
Yeah.
To know what the fuck they're doing before they get on TV.
But here's the thing: when Punk faced Garcia,
Because the most insulting thing that would happen when the news came up, and then they would quit their own company, I'd be like, boys, I can use you, Nick and Matt, but you're going down to Louisville for 4 months. I don't care if you don't fucking like him. You're going to go work with them.
and you ain't gonna like it.
Or you're fired.
no.
But here's the deal. When Punk
You're
faced
almost 40 years old, and you still do this bullshit you did,
20 years,
which everyone can forgive you for because you were young back then.
yeah,
You actually were young
you're,
bucks.
you're now the
back
middle.
then.
Well, you're now the middle-aged Bucks.
You're close to the middle-aged bucks now.
They are the.
I need you to evolve as fucking pro wrestlers.
But here's the deal. When you go back and watch Punk versus Daniel Garcia
Mm-hmm.
on Rampage, the fans were popping for wrestling.
Yeah.
But
CM Punk has definitely lost 2 steps, but he's still a great technical
But
wrestler.
here's the problem. You took the cork off the bottle of wine, but you didn't put it back in. The wine's still spilling out. Punk is nothing now. You have wasted CM Punk because he wrestles on Rampage all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere. He just jumps from story to story. You're trying to do it for a rating, which you'll never get back to because you didn't put the cork back on the bottle.
Right.
You left it off. We're almost out of wine because, like you said, 2 steps. Punk ain't going to last 5 years
No.
wrestling at the rate that he is, but that was never supposed to be the point. And once again, Jesse has to eat a little crow. Not that I told him he needed to, but Jesse said from the start, Punk won't wrestle every night.
No.
And now he basically is.
Yeah.
And Jesse has to look at himself and be like, holy shit, how was I wrong?
It is weird, yeah, because it's almost like just about almost fucking every Rampage, he has a match.
And the
Or something.
ratings,
Which is weird because John Moxley can do that if that's what you need.
yes.
And he's a big star.
Bryan Danielson can still do it.
Yes.
You don't need to use CM Punk, who was gone for 7.5 years, every night. And yeah, maybe he wants to do it, but come on, guys. But Jesse, this is
To me, the most
Jesse,
damning thing
Jesse,
that Bryan
hold on.
Danielson ever
Jesse,
said.
Jesse, this is the Phil Brooks factor you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, when you have CM Punk, you gain a CM Punk problem.
Yes.
But to me, now I'm thinking about the most damning thing Bryan Danielson said that's against Bryan Danielson. He said Vince overprotected me. Well, now I'm thinking, well, if he doesn't, can you still wrestle now?
Yep.
That's true.
Because here's the deal, folks. If Vince...
He didn't say that with hate in his heart.
No,
he said it with love.
yeah.
But I'm like, that's kind of damning.
If Vince
you have girls like you have to raise at some point.
If Vince releases Daniel Bryan after he gets not medically cleared, he goes to the indies. There's no doctor to tell him no, because no independent show is going to say no to the American Dragon.
Correct.
I hate to say it, he might be dead,
Probably.
or at least paraplegic.
But smartly, he took the raise. He became an on-air screen, on-screen figure, where they protected him for like 2 years while he tried to work his way back. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but again, and honestly, I think Jesse's had to come around a little more than even you were before you came on the show. Vince gets a lot of heat for protecting people from themselves.
Yeah, in a sense.
But at the same time, what I love is how much people love New Japan and they hate on Vince. But isn't Gato as guilty for telling guys to slow down just as much as Vince has done?
Oh, you see, Gato's worse because Gato will just take you off of TV.
Yeah.
Like, I've always said, like, when you see a guy who is kind of in a prominent role all of a sudden lose to a young boy and you don't see him, I'm like, Gato pulled him. Gato's like, you need to go home and get healthy.
Yeah.
We're going to put the young boy over, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
They're not fired per se.
No.
But it's just like, you got to go home.
Yeah.
You got
I
because
don't
back in the day, while Tony Inoki, listen, damn near angelic figure in pro wrestling, And I love him and I respect him
in Japan as well.
Because I don't want him to kill me.
Yes. At this age, you don't want that to happen.
Right, because he can still fucking kill me at this age.
Yes.
But he never really took care of the wrestler side because he was so busy becoming this larger-than-life figure and politician.
Yes. That
the people who he had booking his show, when I think of Misushi, something like that. He used to wear the green and white trunks.
Misawa.
Yes, thank you. He had an early death he didn't need to have.
Right.
But they didn't protect him as much. And yeah, I get that back. That was the 90s.
Yeah.
But it's not that Antonio didn't know about a lot of those injuries. He suffered a shit ton of them back in the day.
Yes.
Where now Gato and these guys who suffered them, but they're booking now. They go, yeah, fuck that. I'm going to protect you.
But the thing about it is that Vince doesn't need to go on Twitter. He just has to produce the show.
Yeah.
And by the way, if we're going to take out our not hatred of AEW but our realistic review of AEW and we just talk about SmackDown for a second, Jesse's been calling this the most consistent wrestling show for over a year now.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any hatred for AEW, but if AEW and Tony keep doing the same things, we're not going to have them in 5 years.
No.
If that.
The Bucks ain't going to be here in 5 years.
No.
Darby Allin's already said it. I ain't going to last more than 3 doing what I'm doing.
And you can't rely on
out of
Sting
Darby's
and all
own
these
2
other guys.
lips.
You can't.
That is. So I went back to read that interview again.
Yeah.
Man, listen, if he was in WWE and I was one of Vince's guys in his ear, which, by the way, would make Raw so much fucking better. You guys don't even know.
Yeah.
Because as soon as fucking Bruce and John would say something to him, for those who don't know, that's John Laurinaitis. People power. Kiss my ass. I would literally go to Vince and be like, yeah, no, those two are wrong. Let me tell you something. Let's try this.
He might fire you, but he'll respect you.
Right, like I said, I would get fired from every month. Jesse has been released from his contract. Jesse has been rehired. Like it would happen.
Yes,
it would happen. But they'd be like, man, he'd be like, fuck, I hate him, but I respect him.
Yeah,
because he's willing to come to me and be like, hey, pops,
that ain't gonna work.
You're wrong. This ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
But if I would have heard Darby Allin say that if he was hired with me,
yeah,
I'd have like, Vince, don't fire him, but let me go talk to him, and I think I might suspend him. I'd be like, first of all, that's why you're gonna slow down, because you're only 28.
Yep.
You shouldn't be thinking about retirement at fucking 30. That's ridiculous. Like you should have at least another 12 years.
There was a moment on Roads to the Top where he talked to Cody about getting thrown down the stairs, and they were kind of jokingly about it because obviously Darby was okay.
Yeah.
But Cody said, "Could you wrestle tonight if we needed you?" And Darby flat out said no.
Because you can't.
He flat out said no.
Which, by the way, Cody, you should be ashamed of yourself. Of course, the man can't fucking wrestle after being thrown down 2 flights of stairs. Are you stupid?
Concrete stairs.
Yes. Those stairs. People don't realize stadium stairs are hard as fuck, but they're there.
WWE would have thrown him in which the camera would have shown. The camera would have been placed so far on the other staircase to the back era
to give the illusion.
They would have thrown Darby. Darby would have landed on his feet. Yeah, okay, whatever. We're exposing how we would have done this. Whatever. The veil's gone.
Right.
They would have thrown Darby. Darby would have caught himself. Darby would have then quickly jumped down the second flight of stairs, laid down, and then act like it happened. Nah, there was just one camera pointed straight down. He fell down 2 flights of stairs.
Yeah, it hurts like hell. I've fallen down my own stairs.
I've fallen downstairs many times.
Oh my God,
folks.
I lay there for 10 minutes going, oh, this sucks.
Yep.
And I need to call my chiropractor.
Yeah.
Because I ain't doing nothing.
But no, it's just, Jesse, we are looking at a bright young star that because of that interview, I can't look at him the same way before.
You just almost have the sense he ain't going to be around in 2 years.
No.
And he'll only be 30. Like, that's unfucking acceptable.
People have to understand something. You go to Vince McMahon, you might be watered down. Vince McMahon adds 10 years to your career. Easy.
All I'm saying is we might have hated – I was a part of the crew that hated John Cena. John Cena was able to wrestle in damn near 3 decades because a man said, you're not doing that. Nah, hell no, you're not doing that. You need to go home. Go hug some babies. Nah, we're not. Like, protect them from themselves. No one likes to hear that. So one of the quick story. One of the best bosses I ever fucking had was my first boss at this place called Interstate Parking that runs the ramps in the downtown area.
Yeah.
And one thing he always did was if there was a project I was going to go work on and say some snow would fall that night, he would literally call, even though he was supposed to be asleep because he had to be there at 6 in the morning, he'd be like, you're not doing that. Boss, but you said, no. Go shovel some shit. You're not doing that. I need you. Like, protect someone from themselves. Even if you don't want to hear it as a worker, but he'd probably say, I would have went to a fucking ladder to fix lights in a fucking ramp that they closed anyway.
Yeah.
But I would have did all that because I liked my boss, and luckily he's like, no, hell no, you're not going to do that. I know there's not a lot of snow on the ground. Just have it cleaned up, and you'll go home when I get there. Like, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be cleared up by the time we got 4 people there, and we'll go do it.
Yeah.
Protecting your workers from themselves is what Vince has done very, very well. The Undertaker was able to wrestle in 5 decades because he protected him. Like
Mick Foley did a lot.
Can still fucking at least walk. Because Vince has always protected him.
That's the minimum Mick can
do. That's the
now.
minimum Mick can do right now.
Yeah.
But at least he can do it. He was still able to hug his baby, watch Noelle graduate, because Vince, especially after that fall in Hell in a Cell, he has protected the shit out of Mick Foley. Even if it was someone he didn't originally believe in when he signed him to the company.
But then again, also proof that Vince has changed his mind more times than people give him credit for.
Correct. So it's... anytime I think of Darby when he said that, I go, and then that's shameful on Cody. You don't just go, yeah, I know we let you do that. You're never doing that again.
Yeah.
Like, you're never fucking doing that again.
But that's why I said Cody is almost... Cody mentioned, and I said it in my review, talking about how it's so hard to do my segment and then be in charge of all this other stuff. And I said, no one wants to see your shit. Let's get out of the way for the funny stuff for a second. We'll move aside for a second. You can't be a coworker of these guys.
No.
Vince may want to hang out with some of the older boys sometimes. He may want to sit down and have a drink.
Mark Calloway, John Cena as he got older.
But Vince is never going to lose sight of the fact that he's still your boss.
And you're an investment.
Yep.
Like, you're an investment.
See, this is something that we've touched on in the past but never really gone into. I hate to say it, folks. Every wrestling promoter sees a guy as an investment.
Of course.
You can be friendly about it. You can care about their well-being, care about their families. At the end of the day, it's still a business.
Correct.
It's an investment.
Correct.
And I think people don't realize that that a lot of guys are reinvigorated by Tony because Tony doesn't see this as an investment. He sees it as a future. The problem is, I hate to say it, you have to be selfish money-wise sometimes to be able to see...
As Leroy and Jim Cornette have said, he sees them, and you have said, he sees them as friends.
Yep.
Which, the problem with that is you still need to be boss as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can hang out with them and this and that. If he said he learns a lot from wrestling's history. Well, you've talked to Eric Bischoff about everything that went on in WCW. The problem was, thanks to probably Kevin Nash, who's an asshole, Scott Hall, and Hulk Hogan, he wasn't as feared as he should have been.
Yeah. Because
if he would have been as feared as he should have been, a lot of shit wouldn't have happened.
He would have had the leash on Hogan.
Yes. And
Vince McMahon, for all the hatred he gets, is the only man that could have controlled Hulk Hogan.
Because he often had to remind Terry Bollea every now and then, hey, you forget I own this character. I technically own you.
Yes.
Do not get out of your own fucking head. I need you to get out of your head for a moment.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah. Hey, you can throw that weight around. Do it. Like, I've never been mad when I saw the footage of, this is well after his return and all that.
Yeah.
Where Vince was like, yeah, Hulk, the contract is for me to continue the rights name. It's not my fault you didn't fucking read it. You had 3 months to sign this thing.
Yeah.
And if you didn't read that, that's on you. And everyone thought Vince was the bad guy. It's like, when I watched that, I'm like, wait a minute. I've dealt with a lot of assholes, especially young in my life, with contracts. That seemed insanely nice and fair. Like we gave you 3 months to sign it. You signed it at the fucking last hour, and you still didn't read that provision? That's on you, dude. That's not on Vince. That's your job to get with a lawyer and read through that. Which is the number one
reason why Kenny Omega probably didn't sign was not the money. It was not that they wouldn't have pushed him.
It was probably some sort of provision he didn't like.
Well, no. It was probably because Kenny is an artist. Kenny is the Kyrie Irving of professional wrestling.
Oh, God.
He's not that stupid.
I was about to say
but
let's be fair to Kenny. He may be a Japanese pedophile. He may be an idiot.
Yeah.
But he ain't Kyrie Irving.
That's fair.
All right.
But remember,
I can't believe I share a skin color with that man.
But remember, Kyrie Irving said we are artists. Our canvas is the
Hold on. I need you to replace the other name with Kyrie Irving and then say your thing, please, Leroy. Kyrie Irving.
Shut the fuck up.
Thank you. All right. But anyway, Kyrie Irving said we're artists on a basketball court. Kenny is an artist in the ring.
Sure.
I guarantee Kenny will die on his proverbial sword for his art.
Or a 17-year-old Japanese Joshi wrestler, but continue.
Anyway. But no.
Can't wait to see that dark side of the ring.
Oh, boy.
Or a plastic doll.
I would prefer more plastic dolls than probably what he did in Stardom.
We don't need Dark Side of the Ring because that video's never going away. But here's the deal. Tony, this all comes back to you. You're not in the same realm as Ted Turner in the wrestling business. Don't talk about Vince McMahon, who, whether Jesse's old self likes it or not, has outlived everybody.
Yeah, yes.
He has out-survived everyone in the wrestling. And by the way, at the end of the day, they're all getting a check from him.
Correct.
They all went to him because he was the only one who saw the forest through the trees. Correct. We've used that line a lot on the show the last couple of weeks, but this is where it works. Everyone, the Sheik tried the hardcore ECW thing, and it killed his territory. ECW couldn't get their finances straight. They're gone. Eric made many wrong decisions that we're not going to go into right now. The fall of WCW is well documented. We don't need to go into that anytime soon. But the way that you survive in this industry is what is your plan 10 years from now? What's your roster going to look like? What's this? What's that? Yeah, Vince will get caught with his pants down a couple of times, not just on live television. But
that happened way more than it needed to.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the deal.
I mean, yeah, I understand you have Stacy Keibler and
I
Trish
understand why it's
well,
on. Yes, mine would be.
The problem is every wrestling fan actually does have Vince's butt cheek burned in their brain. That is an actual thing that
shouldn't happen, but it's there.
Yeah. But here's the deal. Vince has understood where the landscape of entertainment has gone. He's understood the landscape of sports. He's understood the landscape of just overall political landscapes. And Tony, your dad made this money. Vince is, in my opinion, a self-made man because he outdid his dad.
Yes, he did.
And his father created one hell of a promotion. And by the way, AEW was handed to Tony Khan after his dad wrote the check. Vince had to buy the Jesse's pointed this out on the show numerous times. His dad said buy the company.
Correct.
And he had to. That's a well-documented wrestling story.
Correct.
And that's maybe why Vince has never had the best relationship with his dad, because they were always fighting for this and that. And Vince Jr. thought more than Vince Sr. on this and that. Whatever. Well, for another day. But that's the thing, folks. Tony, you need to eat this. And in my opinion, you need to not talk on this because you have not tweeted anything in the 48 hours since those ratings hit. You have not said jack shit, and it's about time that you just stop and understand that until you have tangible written evidence, until you have real world numbers that you beat Friday Night SmackDown with Paul Heyman at the helm and Roman Reigns as the fucking head of the table, until you officially come at me with a number that says we beat them on a regular night when they were at their absolute peak, your shit stinks. And nobody else is going to tell you it but this show.
There we go. We just tell Tony, eat your crow. Put a little hot sauce.
They were on
it,
FS1, you stupid twink.
right?
You stupid Adderall taking motherfucker.
You may have to beep out that word.
Nah. Right, Zach?
You may
He-
have to edit that one out. All the words we say.
No.
That one, as Dave Chappelle has learned, could get you in a little trouble. But that shit was funny.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to edit that out. Heck no.
Oh,
What is it?
my God.
Tony,
Thank you.
You're welcome for that.
eat your crow.
Oh,
And as we like to
man.
do, put a little sauce on it, a little hot sauce on it, and just be done. Right?
Well, first of all,
We're not even going to let... No plug because it deserves to be in a better segment. It deserves to be in a better
we'll
segment.
do it at a later time here.
Can't even fix
Oh,
it
yeah.
on that
All
one.
right.
But
oh, that's
okay.
good.
But Jesse, in all seriousness, where does Tony go from here?
Just go back to the grind, man.
Try and
No more.
and make your show better
Which there.
so it lasts.
Like I said, one thing I'm giving him a ton of credit on is there is an effort on his part to do so.
I agree.
So
Nothing wrong with moxie.
Correct.
I like when somebody has the balls to attempt it.
Correct.
But then, bro, you got to deliver.
Right.
This is the thing. When Vince puts out a broadcast, not through him, but through his sources, when Vince McMahon...
But because he don't tweet.
No, exactly.
Fucking 76-year-old man, he ain't tweeting
No.
shit.
But when Vince McMahon
What
has...
the fuck is this? Never
What-
used one of these in my life.
Be like, what's a tweet?
When
I thought it was
Vince
a bird.
McMahon...
Is that a tit? Are you trying to say tit?
When Vince, quote unquote, advertises a big show, he rarely doesn't deliver. At least he doesn't deliver in the sense that he'll give you a matchup. Whether it lives up to the hype is another story.
Right.
But you get the matchup.
Right.
It's like in boxing. You give us a heavyweight fight, but in reality, and again, I'm not questioning what the man has done for his beautiful daughter, what he did to get himself out of working 3 or 4 jobs. Wilder doesn't belong in the ring with Tyson Fury. He doesn't, okay? It's
That was
not-
one of the great fights, though.
No. Great fight, but Jesse, 3 fights, you lost all 3.
Technically, he
saying
did
something.
lose all 3.
You lost all 3.
I
fights.
don't know how he got the decision in the first one. That was weird.
Actually, no. Remember, the first one was a tie.
Yeah.
He's 0-2-1 against Fury.
I thought it was 1-1-1.
No.
No.
Oh.
No, the trilogy people forget the trilogy was a controversial decision to draw, which most people had Fury winning anyway.
Yeah.
Then Fury schooled him the last fight because of apparently a 40-pound crown suit. We're not going to go into that
Yeah. Whatever.
excuse.
Yeah.
And then in this fight, you looked at a man who is 6'9", put on.
I mean, to be fair, he put him down twice. But that big motherfucker kept getting up. And, to be fair to him, he's not that kind of boxer. He's not built to go 11 rounds. Now,
No.
shockingly, he did.
Yes.
But he's not built to do that.
No, but this is the point.
But back to your point.
Yeah, but this is my point. Vince will always at least make the matchup happen.
By the way, Al, there's your boxing thing for the day.
Right, yeah.
We owe you more.
Yeah. But this is my point. Vince will give you what was advertised. Whether or not the booking actually turns out the way we want it
Right.
is irrelevant to
Right.
him, but that's my point.
Right.
But this is the problem. Tony, you took a shot, all the moxie in the world for it, but bro, where was the big match? Where was the giant buildup? Where was anything? You ran a regular freaking Rampage outside of a YouTube hour show. It was an hour show, by the way.
Yep.
Outside of an hour-long YouTube thing.
It really was just one match. The other two were very, Rampage anyway.
But Jesse, if he had turned around and said, oh, they're doing Supersized SmackDown, Rampage is now this, maybe I would have given him more of a shot. But he thought his show as is was going to beat Supersized SmackDown. Which, by the way, even if SmackDown wasn't supersized and was a regular SmackDown and put on there, it still would have done a better number than
Probably.
Rampage did. But here's the deal. Vince can take a night off because he gets 2 million people.
Oh yeah.
You can't take a night off with 500,000.
No.
Because by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if now that this has been witnessed, if 100,000 people don't sit there and realize, why did I watch Rampage? Why did I tune in for this head-to-head
Right.
for 30 minutes, which no one tuned in for except for the 500,000 that were into you to begin with. Because
Right.
here's the deal, folks. You give me Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch with a 2-segment build, I ain't changing the channel.
Right.
But
Oh, hell no.
commercial free?
Yep.
Get out of here
I mean,
with whatever you
Vince
got.
did something that they do all the time to pop a rating, but he just did because he was like, fuck, I need to build ratings for FS1.
Yeah.
because you know, like I said, I'm sure he's like, I
Name
fucking
one
hate
thing that Vince changed from the announcement of Supersized SmackDown until it happened.
because
Nothing.
you get Sasha and Becky for the first time in 2 years on free TV with no commercials,
And they're both healthy.
yes.
And they're both back to that
Right.
level.
And long-term booking.
Yeah.
And Bianca's a babyface who wasn't going to interfere. So
No.
And it's going to the next event that
Yeah.
WWE is
it's a lead
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lead-in.
Folks, we're going to move past this, but all I got to
Yes.
say is this. Tony, I get to look at you at least until your next big mistake. And I get to look at you and say, I don't want you to shut up. I just want you to at least take a step back and realize you tried to have your cake and eat it too. And you didn't even take the cake out of the oven. It just burned. This Jesse, I'm going to repeat.
I give him 2 weeks.
Jesse, for anyone that
You're being kind.
I know I'm
yeah.
being kind.
No, okay, hold on a sec. For anyone that was listening, we're going to go back to it just because we've been talking for a while, but we need to go back to these actual numbers because I think we're not actually paying attention. SmackDown had almost 800,000 people,
Yeah.
which is about average half of what they'll normally do on
yeah.
if
Shit, that's like a quarter.
yeah, exactly. Rampage did one of its lowest ratings.
Yeah.
Tony, and this is the part that bothers me the most, and I want to go back to this for a second. Jesse, he didn't even try. He honestly thought, as is, Rampage was just going to win.
Which is odd.
But Jesse, that's why I disagree with you that it was smart to put it on YouTube. Because if you open the 10 o'clock hour with that, I'm sorry, Jesse, I think even I'm changing, commercial free or not. But the other problem is
that is a channel changer right
the
there.
other mistake was that it was an hour-long buy-in. They were the end of the buy-in.
Yeah.
There was 30 minutes of shit I didn't care about.
Like, you could have actually thrown
What?
on some decent shit.
If we actually sit down and write down or analyze what happened, there was an hour-long YouTube buy-in before Rampage even started. There was a half-hour extra of SmackDown, which was commercial-free, which was not a direct shot at you. This was not a war created by anyone but you. This was what they were already doing. You put Minoru Suzuki and Daniel Bryan on after a bunch of shit you knew no one was going to care about once you announced that. And then you had the nerve to not put the Elite on Rampage. You didn't put Cody on Rampage. Malachi Black wasn't on Rampage. You did nothing for Rampage. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I got CM Punk and Matt Sydal. I saw CM Punk the week before. It's not special.
No.
Nothing about this Rampage was special. So I'm honestly asking you two, what else now? Okay, yeah, it's easy for me to say with hindsight being 2020 and the fact that SmackDown did win, because I'd probably have to eat a little crow if SmackDown didn't win. Although again, they were on FS1, you idiot. But seriously, what did he really do to impress us? I'm serious. I'm actually asking, what in God's name did Tony Khan do to actually make it competitive, other than people hate Vince?
He didn't do anything. He knew what was going to happen well before. He could have planned for it correctly, as you said.
Or he could have subject to
he-
change, you idiot. It's our freaking
It's our
show.
He could have done that, and that would have worked.
Our show has a name for a reason. We didn't just come up with that on the fly. It's been the oldest trope in wrestling.
And he honestly, he didn't have to do an hour YouTube. He could have done a half an hour show with YouTube and started it out with Bryan Danielson.
Versus Minoru Suzuki, which,
He
by the
could
way,
have done
Jesse,
that.
when you watch it, it was anything and everything you wanted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because Minoru was the only thing they didn't do was put a young boy out there for him to beat the shit out of.
Yeah, it's like start out with a 5-10.
He told the camera guy to get out of the way when he walked down the stairs to walk around the ring, and I'm pretty sure the camera guy was like, "Yes, sir."
It's like 5-10 minute
Let me say.
promo before to hype it up and then do it and get the interest, and you could do it.
I also hate to say
great.
because it was probably taped. Fans were not popping for Minoru. They weren't. They were actually now they popped during the chorus of his entrance music, but Jessie, they were kind of flat when Minoru came out. They popped for Daniel.
There's a half a chance that this show was taped.
Oh, I guarantee you.
It would be interesting to find out, but besides that match, nothing. Who gives a shit about Chris Jericho anymore? Which, by the way, Chris, the ratings have now proved it. You weren't a ratings god.
You're also getting beat by Paige Van Zandt. Nothing against that lovely lady, but she's not a wrestler. At least not yet.
Yeah.
You only beat NXT, which was kind of impressive, but then it became less impressive the more you guys talked.
Quick question. If we take away the Hopamine and go back to this, and if people were more like us, because we love our friends, we love the PWL, but if people were more like us and could get past the hatred of Vince, was NXT really going to lose?
Probably.
Really?
Probably.
If people actually watch the show?
Oh, if they actually watch the show?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no.
Because here's the deal. Aaron's actually been saying, and yeah, I know I'm kind of speaking from our group chat for the PWL discussion stuff, but he every Wednesday or Thursday, he's throwing in messages like, somebody close the fridge. We don't want that to get cold. We're still in a kitchen. This is an active room. But anyway, Jessie, he's boasting about the talent that's in NXT 2.0. And these are the guys they're featuring now.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about when they were the winged belt.
Yeah.
We're not talking about when they were the black and gold brand.
Black and gold, yeah.
Yeah, Jessie, he's raving about that now.
I know.
Imagine what would have happened if he was consistently watching it then.
Where it was a lot better. It was a lot better.
We're still going to give it time.
Yeah.
But they were established, basically, is what
If
we're
people
saying.
would have been watching back then, and you were just being honest about the wrestling and the stories, you'd have been like, oh, NXT is clearly better.
Yeah. You had to
Clearly
eat the crow
better.
on that.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Not to sort of put you on the spot, but I mean, like, when exactly, if you can remember, when exactly was that realization where you're sitting there watching, not with us on the show?
Yeah.
Where did you realize?
To be honest, it was the building between Adam Cole and Keith Lee.
And then the match clearly lived up to it.
And I was just like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. This is better than anything. And like I said, I was still optimistic on Dynamite.
Yeah.
But I was like, and to be fair to Dynamite, I would watch it afterwards because I have the ability to kind of go on TNT. They have the West Coast thing and just watch it again.
Yeah.
But I would watch the stories on NXT and go, yeah, every time I go watch that other show like an hour later, this one's still better story-wise.
Yeah.
Like, and then it did, but part of it was also almost like reaffirming my faith of, man, if he would just allow Triple H to run creative.
Right, yeah,
This guy just knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But otherwise, yeah.
But you came to a realization
Yeah.
that, okay, if I go on the show and I try to go up against Zach here, I can't even believe my own shtick.
Yeah, I'm like, all I can do is point out the things that I thought were maybe positive.
Yeah.
But that's about it, because it's not a better show overall than NXT was.
No.
Now it is, but that's for revamped reasons.
Yes.
But otherwise,
That's for Jesse's favorite Mr. Pritchard reasons.
He's an attraction. I hope Bruce Pritchard.
But here's the
chokes
deal,
on a
though.
Banana.
But here's the deal, though. It's still not that
I
bad.
hope he gets scratched by a kitten.
Yeah.
He's the weirdest guy in pro wrestling. Has been for about 40 years now, Leroy.
Yeah, but I don't care. I still like NXT 2.0.
He was only cool as Brother Love. Can't stand that guy. Can't believe he's from West Philly. He
I
embarrasses
like
himself.
Brother Love.
I love Brother Love, but he wasn't an attraction. Okay, go ahead.
Jesse?
I'm making the kid laugh, and that's making me happy.
Jesse, we're also doing Cody versus Malachi, and they haven't even interacted They haven't interacted since the match. Cody's had
to dig into Dynamite a little bit.
Let me get the results for you while we do this.
Well, I have them up.
Okay, cool.
Because as off camera, I let these guys know I'm going to have to go back and watch it because I was out actually scaring people.
Good.
That's right. I was in the haunted house and we got to scare people. Yeah. That's right. I'm gonna have to get you some tickets. I think you can enjoy this. I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Malachi Black had a match with one of you guys' favorite boys, local Minnesota kid here, Dante Martin. Very young, very good.
They like him. Jim likes him.
A lot of people love him.
Yes.
Like love his potential. So apparently on this night,
A product of Davari and Ken Anderson.
Yes. By the way, I mean it's not even a shock because if you used to watch those guys in ring, while the character work sometimes was a little weird.
In ring, they were fantastic.
In ring, they were always fantastic.
And I think ever since, I understand George Floyd was kind of that thing, but like ever since they've taken off the masks, they've found a character.
Yes, they have.
I hate to say it, but Mexico does masks and creates cartoons because that's their thing.
Yeah.
Masks in America are a lot of times to hide flaws in a guy. I'm not saying that the guys were doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they really have shown to the people that knew them as Airwolf.
I'm about to say Airwolf
and Angel Dorado.
There we go. Yeah.
People that knew them as that to now.
Yeah.
There's an incredible leap.
A lot of growth.
Yes, in a very short period of time.
And apparently this was probably the best. It sounds like people thought this was the best thing on Dynamite this week.
Gene keeps randomly messaging me about Dante, and I'm like, bro, I've been watching Dante for a while.
You and Leroy have been watching Dante probably since they first originally got him in first wrestling at like 16.
Well, but Leroy, you've seen almost every heavy on involving Airwolf.
Yeah. I've watched them constantly.
I think they were only 17 at the time.
16, 17 when Heavy On first brought them in.
Yeah, I believe so.
And we all know. I don't know if Eric said it so much on the show, but we all know how much Eric wanted to push. Airwolf to be the guy in Heavy On. I mean, creative differences are creative differences. We're not going to get into that, but it's just, I mean, it's hard not to see the potential in the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets on this national stage, and the rest of the country's all of a sudden like, we discovered Dante first. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Which is why we tell you guys, wherever you are,
support the local scene.
If you got local promotions, go support them.
Leroy and I are about to. I'm about to spend a night in a hotel room with Leroy in a 2-bed, not a 1-bed.
You can cuddle the big guy.
No.
He's sweet.
Okay. I like Zach.
Not that much.
If we were gonna die of hypothermia, I would do that.
We'll discuss it, but
I would do that for Zach.
Yeah.
I would make sure that you wouldn't. I could die, but I wouldn't want you to die. Because
that's fair. That's fair, and I respect that.
Your lovely soon-to-be wife would be upset with me.
Yes.
I'd make sure you live because I'm an old guy. I can keep sacrificing.
But here's the deal.
I'll become her sugar daddy. She'd be fine.
There you go.
All right.
At least she'd be taken care of.
That's
right,
true.
Exactly. But here's the thing. No, we're really going to be doing Cody and Malachi when they haven't even interacted.
It's
the number 3.
So what I was going to get into with this is Malachi, and yes, to be fair to people who are like, this is what he should have always been in WWE when Triple H.
He was getting to it.
Like Triple H was trying to build him to this before you called him up too early, and that's fair.
Yeah.
But because he has a very Undertaker aura.
It's also kind of been proven that this was exactly what he was going to do on SmackDown before they cut him.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, folks, looking back.
Which, by the way,
I
saw a bunch of people went on his Twitter because they're like, hey, yo, who do we have to beg at WWE? Because he shared some of the new music, which is very close to the song Ugentrost, which he has now, which is from a black metal doom band.
Yeah.
But, and that song was so damn good. Everyone's like, yo, hey, WWE, we need that song, bro, because they own the rights to it.
Yeah.
But, it's, first of all, and this is why I keep telling people AEW is a good thing in this sense.
Yeah.
Because now this guy gets to show everything that he is capable of. And in just a short 10-minute match, excellent match, at the end of the match, where he allows this kid Dante to get some shine, show that he's an incredible babyface.
Yeah. He put him over while still beating him.
Exactly.
Yes.
He gives him a nod of respect.
Kenny can't do it, but
the first guy he's ever gave a nod of respect to is what I read. That's pretty cool.
That's something to be said.
That's pretty damn cool.
And also, by the way, before he went to WWE and was Aleister Black, guys, Tommy N wasn't hurting
Listen,
work.
Tommy Anderson could get booked anywhere before he was Aleister Black. One of the smartest things Triple H did was, I'm going to start picking guys out this UK scene because there's gold in this UK scene.
Yes. By the way, folks, I believe the time frame for NXT UK to go off the air passed about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So clearly that was never anything you people understood was going on. So, yeah, anyway.
By the way, BT Sports still plays it. So, just saying.
Yeah. So, it was a licensing issue. It had nothing to do with the in-ring stuff.
NXT UK isn't going anywhere because, to be honest, as much as I love SmackDown, it is the A show. The wrestling on NXT UK is pretty damn close to New Japan Pro for me.
I hate to say it.
It is so fucking good.
I hate to say it. I would not mind if they put NXT UK on instead of NXT 2.0 and put 2.0 back on the network. I wouldn't complain.
Listen,
I wouldn't complain.
I started that conversation, and there at first it was so that makes no sense. You got USA paid for NXT. They paid for NXT. They didn't specify which fucking brand, which is why
they're still getting the letters.
Right,
they're still getting the letters.
Like,
if you don't have to change much of the. You just have to add. You just have to add 2 letters.
If I'm Sean, I go, listen. I get we're finally using this talent we've signed up.
Yeah,
let's put this back on the network.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I got some boys in the UK we could throw on for 2 hours for your.
By the way, folks, Minoru Suzuki and NXT UK would have fun because they would just throw potatoes all night.
Think of him and Walter again.
Oh my God!
And by the way, rumor,
him and Tyler.
And by the way, rumor is due to some personal life changes, Walter might be interested in coming to the U.S.
So
I did hear that.
The kind of rumor with a little confirmed information is that his real name, which I will not discuss here, but his real name was put down on a house in not actually in Florida, but in California.
Yeah.
So there is a chance Walter's going to give the main roster at least probably a 1-year shot.
Yeah.
And see what Vince decides to try to do with him.
Yeah.
But outside of that, oh my God. Not even Minoru Suzuki. For those who don't know, apparently Tanahashi has been working with some of that talent in NXT UK. Are you telling me if they could get that relationship going and get the fucking ace in there with...
Oh, that beats even Suzuki in AEW. No offense to Suzuki.
Like, holy shit.
He can slap the hell out of me, but he's not the ace, Jesse. He's not.
Like, the ace against Joe from...
Mustache Mountain?
No. Joe from...
Imperium.
No. The Irish boys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Joe go, what? Blow your fucking mind every week if they can get those matches on TV. They would then hit 1 million on a Tuesday because people are like, wait a minute. WWE's probably best in-ring steer is on Tuesday now. They moved NXT back to the network on Peacock, which you know what Peacock would probably love.
Oh yeah,
because then they can just promote the shit out of it.
Yeah,
but like, and then USA's happy because they're like,
because here's the deal, folks. I don't think people realize NXT was getting views on the network.
Yes, it was.
People were watching that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Plus the fact that you had a replay value.
Yes.
So if you didn't like a show, you didn't have to watch it again. But if you love the show, you can always go back and watch it as many times as you fucking wanted to. So. It's weird to me that you got Malachi and Dante, and yet you're still building to this fucking third match that doesn't need to happen.
Here's the problem with Dynamite, even though Jesse has said there's a lot of good stuff on it.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have not been mean. We have praised what they've done since, was it All Out or Double or Nothing?
I think it was All Out.
It was All Out. Okay. Here's the deal,
Which
folks.
I said, great night for them.
We gave them a 4.
Like
I gave him a 4.
I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure I gave it a 4.25. I'm like, that was excellent stuff.
Yeah, but here's the deal. This is where my hesitation was, and this is why I'm not on Hopamine. It's back to Dynamite. Outside of Punk just talking, because he only wrestles on Rampage. Outside of, actually, I shouldn't say that because Cole's just now in the fucking elite bullshit. I shouldn't even say that. Outside of Brian, folks. the rest of the show hasn't changed. It's the same stupid, schizophrenic, out there, bad indie wrestling bullshit.
But Cornette has said that. It's like, hey, you gave me a real wrestling show, and then you went back to the same bullshit.
And then you go back to Dynamite.
It happens.
I will
too
say
much.
this: Miro is doing some of the best work he's ever done. But the bar in
Talking to
AEW for Miro is very,
It is really
very
low.
low. And no, I'm not talking about the height of Kip Sabian. That got Leroy a little bit there.
I want to move ahead of Dynamite quick.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
So I'm reading here
Yep.
that they did the Super Click
Yep.
versus 3 members of the Dark Order.
They did.
For what reason?
So the Super Click
For
could
giggles?
get a fun spot where Adam Cole was kissed by the Dark Order, not by the Young Bucks. It was for a spot. That actually happened, by the way.
Oh, wow.
That actually happened. Adam Cole got kissed by Adam Silver and the other dude,
Rest in peace.
John
Adam Cole.
Silver.
I don't understand how, God rest his soul, John Huber was able to come in
And make them legit.
save this faction
And
that
you were
they were
on-
failing.
And you loved John Silver for
yeah,
a while.
and I love John Silver.
but this is
But believe that probably if there was going to be a leader, it should be him. And
they're leaderless, they're rudderless, they're getting ripped out by some lovely young ladies, but it's a bad. Jim Cornette's Jesse. You might hate the old school tropes. It makes sense that when a 120-pound girl rips apart grown men, it's hard to look at them the same. Sorry, it is. It's a visual that you can't get past.
the only reason I would
Now,
ever,
if Gail Kim rips them down, I get it.
the only
I
reason,
get it.
The only reason
She's a
I would
badass.
ever believe it with the Anna Jay character is because they built her as someone that does intimidate them almost all the fucking time because she took after John's
Yes.
attitude so
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Like I think her original number was just 1. Because John was like, when you don't listen, I'm going to let her beat your ass. Like, that was the whole relationship that John had built.
Yes.
So if she would have became the lead, it would have made sense. That way, when -1 comes back, okay, this has been built into the fabric of the faction. Do I have to say it every fucking week we talk about these guys? They are the fucking clowns of pro wrestling, and they have dragged Adam Cole until they're fucking clowned him. So in this match,
Before we go
for
on-
no reason,
Yes, go ahead.
just to probably have the footage, they had those 2 men kiss Adam Cole to quote unquote tease the spot where the heels are getting one back. What?
No, Jesse.
Or whatever it's supposed to be called.
Yeah.
No, Jesse. The Faces, being the Dark Order, kissed Adam Cole.
To get
The heat back.
the heat back.
Yeah.
This is fucking clown.
But guys,
It is.
guys, we've been saying it, and we're going to continue to say it because no one's listening. The best of Adam Cole is dead and gone. It's buried 6
Well,
feet under.
There are people that are listening. Because Cornette has said that.
Well, but the thing about it is,
I
that
mean, we
Cornette
say that.
Cornette will never agree with the Young Bucks on shit. That's never going to happen.
But
That's obvious.
but-
But no one's listening to us because everyone is so into this super click thing. But it's like, how is this better than the Undisputed Era?
it's not.
How is this better than TUE? How is this better than anything Cole did after the Undisputed Era? How is this better than anything he did in ROH? Before the Young Bucks came in and just pissed on everything.
Before
you know
they
what?
came in.
I was told something. This chick told me something about the super click, and I said, "You're full of shit," and I was right.
Adam
she was totally
the
lying to
best.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Jim
Yeah.
Jim
No, you're
Cornette.
right. It's-
Jim Cornette
it's the
said
same
it.
thing.
It's never going to be wrong because
No.
I don't see unless he breaks away and becomes the Adam Cole of the Undisputed Era, which I don't see him doing.
This is the only
No.
way it works.
Okay,
This is the only way this works in the end.
if they kick out Kenny,
If he's the reason because Adam Page wins, guys, I'm telling you, I'm starting to lean more towards going to that show, especially now that a buddy of mine, and I'll tell you guys the information, and maybe you guys might have some great information for you guys if you're listening in.
Just to tell
about
y'all-
me maybe being able to talk to these young bucks.
just to tell you folks, 13 cards. If there's wrestling in Minnesota, we'll probably
be there.
we're very close. We're very close.
Even if we have to go to 2 shows,
right.
we'll do that.
We'll be there.
We just can't get to Dilworth. Is all I'm saying.
That's breaks my fucking heart.
I know.
Anyway, as Zach keeps breaking my heart, the Jets didn't even play this week, and Zach is breaking my heart. Anyway, so
I should call Zach Wilson and be like, "Hey, Jeff."
hey, let's keep breaking his heart every week.
Anyway,
but yeah, so the only way this works is Adam Page beats him for the championship, which I actually do believe is going to happen.
Well. Okay, here's the deal. After all the internet rumors, after all the internet confirmations that he would have won if he didn't go home for maternity leave, folks, is it paternity for him or maternity? It's paternity leave.
It was for his wife, but he wanted to be with the wife
but
during
here's
the
the
baby's birth.
Here's the deal. If they don't do it, Kenny's reign it should be over one way or another. And people say, what does that mean? It's like, there's nobody left.
Right.
There's nobody left but Adam Cole.
Outside of Daniel... Outside of
Danielson,
it would be Adam Cole. That would be it.
That's it.
Yeah,
you have 2 people in that company
because you let him run through everyone else.
Mox is out.
Yeah,
Kingston's out.
I mean, well, Mox kind of still in it because technically he was cheated twice, but
Mox has been doing so much garbage shit. I'm not talking about GCW. I'm talking garbage shit on AEW television.
Yeah, no, I know
Since
what you
then,
mean.
Mox is not anywhere near that title and
true.
shouldn't be.
No.
But here's the deal.
By the way, I just want to remind everyone, Orange Cassidy is still their number 1 ranked contender for that title right now.
Yes, he is.
And is he going to get a shot at it?
Oh, hell no.
Orange Cassidy's too busy dealing with a female feud. Sorry, he is.
Actually, apparently he might be Moxley's next feud.
With his hands in his pockets.
Okay. All right. If there's ever a feud in wrestling that wasn't going to make sense, it's going to be Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley.
Well, apparently the rumor is, so I'm guessing it's going to happen because they probably leaked the fucking rumor, is that they're going to try to turn Moxley heel.
What's the difference? What is the difference of John Moxley face versus John Moxley heel? He's not going to come through the crowd for the first fucking time? Instead of Wild Thing, he's going to be the White Sox hitter from the freaking second movie?
I'm about to say, here's the thing.
There we go, yeah. That's about it.
New Japan already tried. They tried.
Yeah.
They literally in every single way tried to make him a heel when he got there. He was so cool to that crowd. They're like, fuck it.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. And this isn't regular wrestling match versus death match.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to work a character other than what he is.
Yeah.
And that character is way too over with people.
Yeah.
It's too believable to
True.
people. It's never going to get over as a heel.
True.
He didn't want to be a heel in WWE.
No.
They tried it on him, and to their credit, they wrote some stuff that he refused to work with. To me, that's unprofessional, but I get it. It wasn't the best stuff. I get it, Jesse.
Yeah.
You and I have gone back and forth,
Yeah.
but I'm a little more professional in that situation than John was.
I say the way he handled it wasn't well.
Yes.
I agree.
But my point is this: John Moxley has never been built any different than what he is.
Right.
It doesn't work. He's either going to be a tweener who's always going to lean towards doing the right thing, even if he is the freaking psychopath. You're never going to convince me that John Moxley is anything other than what John Moxley is. He is going to go out there, he's going to chug a beer, he's going to stand in the crowd, and he's going to throw up the horns.
Right.
That's who John Moxley is. He's never going to be the guy who actually comes out of the tunnel, who actually dresses down a baby face verbally. That's not John Moxley.
No.
It never has been John Moxley.
No.
John Moxley has built a career in the indies being John Moxley.
Right.
CZW didn't turn him.
No.
New Japan, with all the greatness they have in terms of creative,
Couldn't do it. They tried.
And you want to know why no one can do it? Because the fans won't believe it. I know AEW is so fucking stupid over there that no matter what the fans actually start doing, they ain't going to fucking do it. You should have turned Cody heel 3 months ago. You didn't fucking do it, Tony.
And now he's got John Cena heat. Good job.
You idiots over in all evacuation wrestling, because it's about to be an exodus of people. All Elite
like
Wrestling.
Bad day in the bathroom.
Have you seen Dynamite? It blows up just as big. Anyway,
Maybe.
especially
I've tried.
Yeah, exactly. But
I've
no,
tried to
but
watch
Jesse,
it, so yes.
John is not believable. They're
No.
gonna cheer him because I hate to say it, he was the first defector. John Moxley made it a war. Not Tony Khan.
Right.
Not the Elite.
Right.
Not the Bucks.
Right.
Not Kenny.
Right.
And sure as hell not Jericho.
I'm not talking about him.
John
He meant too
Moxley.
much of the bubbly.
John Moxley. By the way, folks, I'm wearing a little bit of the bubbly because guess what? I think Tony had a little too much when he sent out the tweet. But here's the deal.
I used to respect him so much.
John?
No, well, him I still respect.
Yeah.
The guy that's on that shirt, Chris Jericho.
Yes.
I have no respect for him anymore.
It's hard to.
I won't even. I literally won't even. Well, Darren Corbin's awesome, Leroy.
Well, see, but I'm wearing the shirt that
Everyone
say
just shut the
to
fuck
Tony
up for a
Khan,
minute.
Shut the fuck up for a minute.
Yeah, but no, it's just Jesse. Orange Cassidy's number one. The rankings mean nothing. We know this.
I'm about to say they killed that.
Hank, and not to mention the fact, I get it. Adam Page was built as this blithering, beyond sloshing his words. Even Dusty on his worst drinking day couldn't talk as bad as he was.
Right.
Drunk, and he gave a promo that was all wishy-washy. I'm a bitch, and then all of a sudden at the end he tried to save it by saying, "I'll give you everything that I have," which, by the way, was the weakest attempt at. I'm sorry, it was a bad promo. It was.
Yeah.
Gene and I will disagree on this till the end of our days. It was a bad promo because I'm sorry, you don't turn a guy from a drunk into whatever the hell he was before, but maternity leave, to coming back and being like, I'm getting my life together. No, not how this works. You can't do that in this length of time. Fuck that. And by the way, people give Vince shit for like, oh, I had a plan. It got ruined due to injury or pregnancy, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to throw it right back in when they get back to my wife. What the fuck is this? Yeah. Page just comes back, wins the fucking thing. Yeah, whatever. He got the biggest pop in Philly over Punk, over Bryan. Fuck all of you. No. He doesn't just come back and boom, we're going to continue what went away 3 months ago when he went home. You blame Vince for how is this again, when I see things that are exactly what Vince would do and you rip Vince for it, but you praise Tony Khan for it, I literally lose respect for people. Friend or foe, I lose respect when you can't see the goddamn hypocrisy of how is it any different? And then you give me reasons why, and I'm like, no. Now you're making excuses.
Right.
See, there's a difference between excuses and fact. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a boss says, oh, the excuse was you were too busy. Sometimes fact, Leroy, you've been in the scenario, sometimes fact, you were just given 6 things to do and you didn't get the 7th one done.
Thank you, Alicia.
Yeah. But anyway.
She's still doing it.
We love her. But anyway. But no, Jesse, the rankings mean nothing.
No.
Adam Page is going to face Kenny Omega.
Yes.
And he's going to win.
He'll
win.
Win.
Not going to make sense because he was gone for 3 months.
Yeah.
He lost all of his heat, and he's going to win because that's what the and the fans are going to pop because that's what they wanted because, again, they get everything they want.
Yeah.
And then they're doing a tournament.
The Eliminator's back.
The Eliminator for both the men
and
the
women.
women.
Oh, by the way, I know that it was in the middle of an Eliminator, and I know shit's changed and this and that, but I posted the picture in the lounge a week ago. Where has Sonny Kiss been since facing Kenny Omega, which was supposed to be the launch of Sonny Kiss?
Battling Joey Janela on Dark Elevation.
Still, because they broke up that tag team 6 times 4 months ago.
And now there's actually like a woman involved for some reason.
Why the hell would there be a woman involved?
Now that I'm thinking about the story, and I praised him for turning Joey fully heel again, that shit makes no sense.
There should not be a woman
because there shouldn't be a woman involved. Because Sonny isn't a woman; he's a gay man who can wrestle his ass off.
And we don't care about that part. But guys, you're the ones who want to be all inclusive. You're the ones who give Vince crap for being racist, bigotry, all that stuff, and yet you're introducing a scenario that in real life means nothing to Sonny. That's just a fact. That's not us making fun of Sonny Kiss's life choices. It's just a fact.
It doesn't make any. When I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense that she's there because his cheating tactics have helped him win at least one of the matches so far. So, yeah, it confuses me. Maybe they're building to the fact that maybe technically he can't beat Sonny, so he needs her out there. Yeah, because she gave fucking... So, actually, to give them credit and then take it back. So, they had Crowbar on Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
Huge. That guy hasn't been on major television since 2001.
Right.
And he was deserving of it.
Yeah.
He was very deserving of it.
Yeah.
because they were in Philly, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And it was a match involving Joey Janela. I can't remember the other person, and then this girl. I don't know her fucking name, and then I don't care either. And
Some white
then.
Some white
Well,
chick.
I won't say I won't care. They haven't given me a reason to care.
That's fair.
And then,
But again, not to piggyback off of you to segue into something else, but that's all elite wrestling. You're just already supposed to care about all this stuff. We're not going to give you a reason on our see. Give
And
Vince,
you're supposed to know about it. too.
give Vince credit in a place where normally he gets ripped. He creates a new star because he has to give you a reason to care about them now.
right.
What they did before that might mean something to the internet wrestling fan, but to the fan watching WWE who maybe isn't as smart as we are about the business, sorry, AJ Styles' run in Japan meant nothing. Chris Jericho was right on camera. What you do here means nothing.
Right.
Or, sorry, what you did there means nothing to here. He was right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when a guy signs with a new team. Unless you're an all-pro, what you did there means nothing.
Right.
If you're a role guy in baseball, if you hit 20 home runs somewhere else, well, okay, were you in a lineup with dudes that were always on base? Were you in a lineup where the pitching staff was so destructive that the other pitcher didn't know what to throw at you?
Right.
And now you're on a team with guys that you have to live up. No, it's that simple.
Right.
You can be a 20-point a game guy in the NBA on a team in which you're the primary ball carrier.
Cough, cough, Isaiah Thomas.
There you go. But then you go to LeBron James, and the ball's not going to be in your hand. LeBron's going to expect you to maybe drive. Look, at least Chris Bosh got it.
Yeah.
And he was rewarded for it. Kevin Love, same thing.
Right.
Those two guys earned their fucking rings because they
Right.
decided that, okay, we get it.
Right.
But the thing is there's so many guys that went in there and didn't get it, and they didn't get a ring with him.
Right.
But now that this, what are we doing? What are we doing half the time?
Actually,
Sonny-
now this goes to another match on Dynamite.
Yeah, no, Leroy, we're still on Saturday Night Dynamite. Less than 24 hours ago.
So the AAA Tag Team Championships are on the line.
Oh, this.
I have
By
that
the
there.
way,
Oh, this.
by the way, I'm giving them all the heat in the world. You want to know why? Because on the other Dynamite, they
It's funny.
said
It's funny because Danny and David are friends with Edge, and Edge and Christian did this as the Conquistadors, and they did. But go ahead.
right. They basically did what was already done like 20 years ago. Here's the thing. So you never clarified which tag team championships were on the line. That's fair.
Yeah.
But guess which ones the Lucha Brothers had on them when you said there would be a tag team match?
The AEW.
The AEW Tag Team Championships.
Uh-huh.
What are we doing? So we're just gonna keep
I
paying
thought I did
AAA.
see that they were.
Yeah, so
the
we're just gonna
AAA
keep
championship
paying
was gonna be on
AAA
there.
and be like, well, listen, we're gonna switch your belts to some guys who your crowd has no idea who the fuck they are.
No.
They knew who the Lucha Brothers were.
Yeah.
They have no idea who the fuck these two are.
And by the way, another example of two guys who are great singles competitors but decided to dedicate themselves to tag team wrestling and ultimately are one of the best tag teams in the world, but they just, that match with the Young Bucks
Sorry,
got
I need you to say that again. What are they?
one of the best tag teams in the world.
One more time.
One of the best tag teams
I
in the
wish we
world.
could record that, which we are, because I want to send that clip to the Young Bucks. Continue your point.
The problem was that match got Young Bucked.
Okay.
That's what happened in that cage match.
That is true.
The last 10 minutes was Young Bucked. Anyway,
Assholes.
but back to what you were saying.
Thank God they
So-
lost.
So here's the thing. I've read how the match went.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not shocked that it was spotty because these two teams haven't really worked together.
Yeah.
They're great teams. This is another problem I have with AEW.
Cody, but by the way, I want to point out when you were talking about Cody and Bullet Club,
Mm-hmm.
one stupid ass thing he once said was when he was asked about the difference between the Bucks and FTR, and this was after Fuck the Revival. He said, "Well, the Revivals sit in a performance center with DIY, and they come up with a match for 2 months before they have it. But I watch the Bucks do it night in and night out all the time on the road." That's why you work with someone for 2 months, is so you can get timing down and you can have
I just want to remind people, if you've ever seen that match, isn't that not one of the best tag team matches of all time? That's That's why you map that shit out.
Not even arguably any era that match would have gotten over.
Right.
That would have been 60 minutes on TBS on a Saturday morning, no commercials, and they would. And
I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite indie wrestlers right now, who should be on even more fucking shows than he's currently on. He's a very busy man recently, and that's Paul Verk. The Problem.
Yes.
The guy who at some point I will be your manager, sir. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. But.
And Lear and I would not be surprised.
I don't think anyone would be surprised at this point.
No.
They'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not shocked. He loves that guy."
Yeah.
You know what?
And he's only.
We're going to see him Friday.
And he's only 24 years old.
24.
24 years old.
Young, beautiful, and future world heavyweight champion.
We're going to see him on Friday.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Hey, give him a hug for me, man.
I will do that.
I love that guy.
We will.
Actually, what you guys will do is have him cut a promo, and I'll be watching, and then I'll cry.
Yes, exactly.
I miss you, Paul. I miss you so much. But yeah, so Paul had one of the best single matches we ever seen in MAW, but it was a match that they worked out at least for 3 weeks before the MAW show.
Yeah.
That's how you professional wrestle.
Yeah.
Because you want to give the fans the best.
Sorry, the veil, we get it, whatever.
Gone. Fine. But that's even indie wrestlers understand. Well, sometimes that's how you're going to get the best match anyway, with a guy you've never worked with. And, well, let's talk about how we're going to do this. Maybe, before each match we do, if we can meet up and work some things out.
Yeah.
We still might have some kinks here and there.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
it's still live.
Yes.
It's still live.
So
adrenaline changes everything.
The reason why the Young Bucks have never been and will never be the best tag team in the world. They could be your favorite tag team people, and that's fine. I don't care. If people were like, I rank them there because they're my favorite tag team, no problem.
At least be honest.
Just tell me they're your favorite tag team, and I'll respect you for it. But what we ain't going to do is act like these guys go out and actually do put on 5-star classics. Actually, they kind of did. Who did they work with when they did that?
Who?
I believe that was FTR.
Yes.
Who probably, guess what, worked it out with them before the match.
Yep.
That's why those guys are so good. And by the way, they're being wasted. Because now you put the AAA tag team titles on them.
Now they're going to be in Mexico.
Now they're going to be in fucking Mexico.
Instead of on AEW.
Right. So you've wasted them. You're wasting their time. I hope you boys enjoy the paycheck. But here's the thing. It's one of those things where the fact that even came out, and I get that those were his friends. I don't know about anymore. That's such an asinine thing to say.
Let's get the same interview with Cody now, shall we? Let's see if the
boy, he probably has a whole new tone about the Young Bucks.
Let's see if that comes out again. Anyway, but no, yeah. Once again, Dynamite turned into Dynamite.
There we go.
There was a couple of things you wanted to see. They were not back to back. It didn't make me want to stay from segment to segment. I don't know what else to say.
And by the way, why is Sting going to wrestle MJF?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
No, I'm sorry.
There's no
I'm sorry.
point to
I'm
it,
sorry.
but-
I'm sorry. For a second there, I thought I was in an AEW creative meeting. No, Jesse.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
He's really good at those.
Jesse, there is no reason.
No.
There is no logic.
So MJF, for some reason,
He just
is now.
So he goes from Brian Pillman, an up and comer.
Wait, is it because he beat? Is it because they jumped Darby Allin the week before? Is that maybe that's
Probably, yeah.
'Cause Dad-
why is 60-year-old fucking Sting getting in the ring with? And it's not. There's a reason guys like I just pointed out earlier could wrestle into their 50s. It was because a certain guy was able to tell them no.
Yeah.
Okay, and protect them. You're not protecting Sting.
No.
No, Dad was mad. That's why he's doing it.
You're not protecting Sting.
I know.
He's gonna die in the ring.
Also,
that's my biggest fear.
Also, one more bit of thing here, Tony. You messed up again because Jesse coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
You guys let fucking Buddy Murphy slip right through your fingers. You know it's not just him. Scott D'Amore. How does that fucking happen?
I don't know.
He focused too much on Braun Strowman.
And possibly Bray Wyatt.
All right, man. Well, Bray, I understand.
Bray, I get.
Like, Don't get me wrong. If I was in Impact, I'm like, listen, I don't care if we have to give up 40% of the fucking company. I'm getting Wyndham Rotunda.
Yes.
If I want to get back on normal cable television, which is what they want to do,
Yes.
I'm getting Wyndham Rotunda. That guy's a draw.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But
You guys all let Buddy Murphy just slip through.
Buddy Matthews is going to be working his indie dates, and he's now going to be working New Japan, which, by the way, we said on the show maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, him and that Super Juniors. Oh,
The problem
my
is
God.
he actually might be too heavy for the junior.
Didn't I
So-
see that the date was like 11/13?
Yeah, it's
11/13.
yeah, the same
That was
day.
the date.
The
that was coming
same
up.
day as all the other shows. And then
No,
I'll
that's
have to
the
go home,
The day, yeah, it's the next day from the show.
Yeah.
Down the
Yeah.
and I'll have to watch him debut and whoop somebody's ass. But I don't know how many. I don't know. Hell, Billy Corgan, dude, he's a throwback with the new school style. Like, how did you let him slip? Hey, come to Atlanta. We'll just we'll do some tapings with you. Like you did
crazy.
You've done so well with like Nick, who, by the way, congrats Nick on your trip. Apparently, just having him on the show in Poland, it sounds like they sold out a 20,000 seat arena.
fantastic.
Like that guy fucking deserves it.
Yeah.
And go on the YouTube and watch the interview that Zach did with Nick. Nick was amazing, a gentleman,
Nothing short of a
class
gentleman, yes.
personified.
Nothing short of professional.
Like, and a guy that I kind of sent a message afterward. Like, I think not only are you a great world heavyweight champion in NWA, you probably should have been holding 3 world titles
Oh, yeah.
5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have actually felt legitimate. That's how good Nick Aldis is.
But my point is this. Buddy Matthews is heading to the place that we thought was the last place that was going to get him because, whether Jessie wants to admit it or not, but Jessie will still agree to it, they're probably the third promotion you would get to. As great as New Japan is, it's
Right.
probably the third option for a lot of them.
Because a lot of wrestlers, because a part of going to New Japan is you don't have to do the dojo, but it's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Like when John did it and has been, it's smart.
Yeah.
Because now when he wrestles over there, I'm gonna get a great fucking match.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna do his style and their style. It's gonna work.
AJ was different because AJ and Gato's smart enough to know this.
Well, so Okada actually told him, when they were fucking botching Okada in TNA.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Once again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
That is on the resume of Impact
Dixie
forever.
Carter, Hulk Hogan, and even you, Eric Bischoff.
Yes.
Because you should have told them, don't fuck this up, and they did anyway.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where he's going to be able to probably not have to go to the dojo and still be able to work with those Japanese wrestlers because he's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I think most American wrestlers don't like doing it. Darren Young doing a lot of great shit in New Japan Strong.
Yes.
But had to go do the dojo.
Yeah.
And understood, like, for me to do as well in New Japan, including probably trying to be one of the first black heavyweight champions, I need to go do well.
And also, by the way,
do this.
when you watch him on New Japan Strong, folks,
He's the best he's ever been.
well, not only that, but Jesse, it's almost like he should have never gone to WWE because
It fits him.
it fits him so
It fits
well.
him so well.
It's really well done.
Like he.
And by the way, folks, Gato don't care if you like men, if you like women, or if you're black or if you're white. If you can wrestle, Gato gonna book you.
There you go.
Gato is what you think Vince actually is, but he books it the way you think Vince should book it.
Right.
If you can make me money, and these fans will sell out arenas for you.
Yep.
Gato's like, yeah, you come on.
Yeah.
I'll have you in the upper mid card.
Do we want to talk about what they believe that the 4 pillars of AEW are?
Let's do that next week. Let's get to Crown Jewel because that is coming up.
Yes,
Well,
that is coming
before
up.
that, there's 2 people
Yes.
had some new babies.
Oh.
Yes, we have to talk about this.
As we talk about
Mhm.
NXT UK superstar Shay Samuels, welcome little girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the lovely Lacey Evans
Yes.
on Saturday had a little.
I just
girl,
read
too.
that this morning. Congratulations
so
to you.
Congratulations
Congratulations
to
to
both
her.
of those for.
I did
for
not
new
know
babies.
Samuels was pregnant.
No, he's a dude.
Well, the family would have
His
been.
wife.
Well, the family.
Had a bit of baby.
Well, because there's also I forget her. It's like it's something Samuels. She's a UK wrestler.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, I didn't know she was.
That's
pregnant.
what I found out. That's what
Okay.
I got from
But-
online.
But
Totally.
big ups to that. Can't wait for Lacey to come back because Lacey was just somebody that was there was a gimmick established, but they tried too many different things. You should just let Lacey
But I'll
be
be
Lacey.
honest. She was starting to really find her way
She was.
before she got pregnant. Like she was starting to kind of
Oh yeah.
get to the spot they were hoping she
Yeah,
would
exactly.
get to.
But
Yeah.
no.
They really, really want her
Yes.
on par with Charlotte. You can just tell.
No, but big congratulations to those two. Also, Leroy, you have a few things for this day in wrestling history for us. We always love to hear that.
Oh yeah, a couple quick things. If there's anything, 33 years ago today, Ted Turner was in the process of acquiring Jim Crockett Productions, which eventually became World Championship Wrestling. Very interesting.
Mhm.
Also, 22 years ago at No Mercy, the Fabulous Moolah defeated Ivory to win the women's title. And at that moment, she became the oldest woman at 76
I hate to say
hold
it.
that championship.
I hate to say it. We tried, we have to remove certain things from the equation, regardless of how you feel about what Moolah did with everything.
I was going to say
Still very successful. in
The
business.
problem with hearing that now
Yeah.
is like, ugh.
Yeah, well, that's what they did.
Yep.
And then, lastly, we have to give a shout-out to a gentleman who is celebrating his 64th birthday, Steve Mongo McMichaels.
Just brought him up earlier, didn't
Yes,
I?
you did.
He is.
Yes,
he
he
is.
did.
64.
64.
He is.
How fucking old was he when he got into pro wrestling in WCW?
You'd have to look it up. I don't know exactly what year,
Let's
but
take
yeah.
a look here.
They tweeted out a picture with Ric Flair and him and
Mhm.
another in his the medical facility where he is at.
Because, yeah, he used
He
to
is-
be
he
one
is.
of the Four Horsemen in WCW.
Mhm. Yeah, the one remake, but he is suffering from ALS.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but hey, he's still here. He's out celebrating his birthday. So yeah,
He went to World Championship Wrestling as a color commentator in 1995.
oh wow,
So he would have been in his
a couple
30s?
years after I graduated that way.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so 64 today.
Yep.
So happy birthday.
All the love and support to Mr. McMichael.
Nothing but love and support to him.
Yes. So
definitely.
anyway,
Even though my analogy still fits.
yes, Leroy, you have Crown Jewel for us, which is going to be this Thursday.
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
In the morning, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'll be,
Bright
I'll,
and early.
I'll
be
be up.
watching it later on.
I'll be up. I'll watch it.
I don't work till 2. I'll probably watch it.
Here's the problem, Leroy.
Yeah.
Peacock is still slow. You may have to wait 8 hours just to watch that shit.
Yep.
No, they're pretty good actually.
I
I've watched it later
yeah,
on.
I was
and
gonna
I've
say
picked
because
it
the
up
last
pretty
pay per
quick.
view it took them like 7 hours just to get it up.
Yep.
I was like, God, you guys got to get this server better. Apparently, a lot of the American soccer fans get pissed because it takes them 10 hours to upload those games.
Well, I did let it. Last time I watched it, it was.
To be fair, it takes 10 hours to watch a soccer game. Anyway,
I love
right.
it though.
Well, it'll be good.
Most exciting, boring 5 hours you'll ever watch.
no thanks.
All right.
Anyway, Leroy,
You are never
All right.
welcome in England.
Well, one
sir.
of the things on, and they did not.
I'm okay with
Okay,
this.
they had to have it.
I'm
here.
Scottish,
All right.
so.
But we have out of the we have the first one that we have here is Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali in a singles match.
Mansoor will win. They always have
Mansoor
to give
will
him
go
a
over,
win.
yeah.
However,
However,
I think it'll be either one could win there, but I think it'd be a great match.
I think
However,
it's going to definitely be Mansoor.
it's going to be Mansoor. However, I will say this. Mansoor has found a way to get himself over in America just as much as he has in Saudi Arabia.
Because he's so damn likable.
He really is.
is.
He truly is. He's an incredibly likable human being.
Like I told people, like when I was watching him on 205 Live, I'm like, dude, you could call him up to the main roster. He'll get himself over as a babyface. He's really likable.
He really is. He has that natural quality.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll have a lovely, and I'm going to enjoy this, Edge and Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match.
It's going to be better than the last one. By the way,
With no
way,
red light.
by the way,
We're not
by the
going to
way,
have any red
Seth,
lighting.
Seth saying what he did
Yeah.
on Talking Smack.
Yeah.
God, I love it.
Yeah.
Why can't Talking Smack just be what SmackDown is?
The man is smart. I'll give Seth that. But
Oh, that's right. 2 out of the 3 aren't here anymore. I'm like, God damn,
Oh,
Seth.
yeah. All right.
Oh, boy.
And during this also will be the finals for the King of the Ring and the Queen Crown. Right now, it's going to be Finn Balor against either winner of Jinder Mahal and Xavier Woods, which is going to be on Monday.
Yep.
Before, it's going to be the
I
next
think
day
we're all
after the taping
praying
here.
it will be Xavier.
It's probably going to be Jinder.
but it's probably going to be
It's
Jinder.
going to be Jinder.
We all
Um,
knew Sammy wasn't winning for obvious reasons.
I told people because people, man, I think Sammy's. I'm like, they're going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Sammy ain't fucking going,
And wait, and by the way,
and that's fine.
And by the way, to their credit, WWE has never made him go.
exactly,
They've never said you have to go.
exactly.
Yeah, and for the women's side, or for the Queen Crown, Zelina Vega is in there, and
Yep.
now it's going to be between Shayna Baszler and Doudrop on
I
Monday.
really
night.
hate to say this. People want to give crap to this, but Jessie obviously proved AEW ain't doing much more with their women's division right now. Look, here's the deal. Much like that pay-per-view, I think the reason why they're getting it in and out right now is to gauge if they if they can do it again.
Probably.
I think this is a live filler feeling out process. They're trying to figure out if people are interested in Queen of the Ring. I think that's why we're sitting here sort of getting these quick ones. And then again, like I said, this is a long show. Maybe they're going to give us an epic thriller. Or if Shayna, by the way, if Shayna Baszler just ends up running her way through Selena Vega, if that's what the match ends up being, folks.
Well, that would only make sense.
That would make sense.
Well,
if
but that's
that
my
is, sure,
point.
yeah.
Seriously, either Doudrop or Shayna running through Zelina would only make sense.
Right, but that's my point. Is just, folks, there's you want what AEW gives you, which is a 20-minute match that has no reason, or WWE giving you the result but just giving it to you without giving you a 20-minute classic and be like, this is the result, we're just going to get there. I mean,
Listen, I get
it's
why
to be
people
said.
were pissed off.
Yeah, no, I
But
100%, I understand.
And WWE needs to read the tea leaves that the anger wasn't because they don't want to see it, but is because they do want to see it.
And I
So
agree.
to be fair to the anger, that I'll understand.
Yeah,
You
But
gotta
otherwise,
give the ladies more time.
yeah.
Otherwise, this was a terrible decision to do this in Saudi Arabia.
I agree.
But continue, Leroy.
Well, I hope they put on a great match.
50 million. It's all it talks.
I hope they put on a great ladies
50
match like they
million.
did last time.
50 million is not enough to have me have those women out there. I'll do an all-men show and be like, listen, on SmackDown, we're going to treat everything you guys got
Which
going
is
on
fair.
with respect.
No, which is fair.
Yeah. All right.
However, the
I'll
Prince.
fucking throw Hulk Hogan out there
That's
with that
fair.
50 million. Because that's all he wants to see anyway. Hey, Hogan, go out there and beat some jobber up.
To be fair,
think I can anymore.
To be fair though, people have to understand is that also whether or not it's real behind the scenes or not, the Prince is trying to change people's perspective. So maybe if anything that might help this scenario. I'm not giving it any hope, Jesse. I get it, cultural differences, I get it, but it's the image he wants to put out there. Maybe.
All I'm going to say is if your weed man has now 4 times sold you oregano,
I'd be pissed.
no matter if he sold it to you in a bag that looks like it was a good bag and he sold it to you for $5, if you keep going to that weed man,
That's fair.
You're the problem. You're the problem.
Yeah. Unless I use it for my spaghetti.
All right. We're going. I just want to throw that analogy out there.
There you
That's
go.
fair, that's
I
fair.
hear you.
But I swear to God, if I hear Jim Cornette use that, I want a little bit of royalty.
All right.
That's fair. All right. Go ahead, Leroy.
There we have in a no-hold-barred match, your favorite guy, Goldberg, against Bobby Lashley. You're welcome.
I'm not watching this.
The build
I am not.
No,
for
no,
all
no.
of black kind and humankind itself, white, black, Latino, don't watch this match. As a matter of fact, if you live in Saudi Arabia and you're going to this show, I cannot speak your language, but I will tell you, just go take a piss break. You go take your kids.
Whatever piss break is.
If they have to poop, you let them go poop.
In Arabic.
To the prince, if you do your princey stuff, you do it here. Just to show WWE, we don't need to see this old bald piece of shit no more.
God.
Well, I hope he has a better showing than the last time he was.
He's going to win.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care
I know.
because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Yep.
like, if somebody did anything to my kid, yeah, I'd want to kick the shit out of the guy that did it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All I'm saying
Story-wise,
is after what they did to the Fiend with this bald piece of crap who can't hold a match for more than 2 minutes, I'm done with my hopium on Goldberg, because that was the last time. You remember that? I said, you know what? This is going to be a decent one. I think the Fiend will still go over. They'll just do all their big power moves for 5 minutes.
And then he squashed him.
And he just squashed him.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I know. All right, Leroy.
All right. Up
That was
next.
the shittiest tasting crow ever.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Not even with the right sauce.
No.
All right.
There was no good hot sauce for that one.
All right.
Not even Al could help you on that one.
Oh, I was done.
All right.
All right, what else
Well,
do
we got a singles match for the WWE Championship with Big E and the challenger of Drew McIntyre.
If they give it 25 minutes, this is going to be a barn burner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. These guys.
They need to give it 25 minutes, but
Yep.
this should be a barn burner.
Big
Well,
E.
as you
Big
like
E
to
will
say
obviously
about
go-
this, Jesse.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
There
By
you
the
go.
way, I sent you the clip. Big E stole your line.
Yeah.
He's using
And they
it.
tried to
That's
print it
all
for a shirt, but nobody could approve it.
Yeah. Too bad, Biggie. I'm going to do it first.
Hey, Big E. Nobody at this company will disapprove that shirt.
right.
So-
We will totally approve
We'll
that
probably
shirt.
approve that
So
shirt.
don't worry, Biggie. I'm going to hit you up because I'm going to sell the shirt whether you want me to sell it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Right. we also have actual documented proof that you were saying it before he said it.
That
that
is
night.
true.
Yes.
That is very true.
Yes,
have it
we have
recorded.
documented proof.
All right.
Bring on the lawyers on that one. All right.
All right.
Love you, E.
Love you, E.
Then we got the Raw tag team match with RK Bro and Riddle. You know, Randy Orton and Riddle going against AJ and Omos.
You know, for a filler tag team match on the card, because that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great match.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Omos will be the largest person for 3 countries.
That is
They're
true.
going to look at him as close
to Godzilla
to Godzilla.
as you can.
I mean, it's 7'6".
Yep.
So apparently, someone was
And
sending
a
me
healthy
some-
7'6".
Right. So someone was
That's
sending me
true.
some footage of him walking down the aisle at WrestleMania, and people were like, "Man, it felt like, when they faced the New Day," and people were like, "If." And people were saying like, man, it felt like Omos is getting no reaction, and so this guy put up all this footage he collected from people who took pictures of Omos. It's not that he was getting he wasn't getting a reaction.
People were actually
People
shocked.
were like, holy shit!
What bothers me is that based on our seats and where he normally stands, if AJ's got a singles match the night Allison and I go, he's going to stand right in front of me, and he will block out the sun.
Like, you're not going to see the match.
That's true. Yeah, you're not
Like,
going to see
he's
nothing.
huge.
He's a large man.
Like, so someone got a photo of him from behind during, as he's on the thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't see the New Day.
No.
It looked like AJ was punching air.
He is a large man.
But he is huge.
He's a big dude.
Damn.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is
that
going to be
is-
fun, though.
It's gonna be
It's
real
gonna
fun.
be a lot
It's
of
gonna be
fun.
real fun.
All right, and then we have the SmackDown title 3-way with Becky, Bianca, and Sasha Banks.
Despite the audience, this will get a lot of time because Vince has no choice.
I need the Prince to allow them to just, as long as it's not too skimpy, let them wear what they usually wear, and let these women go out for your women if you truly want to be progressive.
Yeah.
And let these women go put on a classic for your young girls to see, especially if you're if you really are serious
Yeah.
about doing the WWE Saudi PC thing where you
Yeah.
can have women become pro wrestlers, because this will inspire them.
Oh, God.
Becky's going to win, but this will.
Really?
I
you
think
think
so.
Becky's going to win?
Yeah.
I
don't
think it's
think-
coming off Becky because Becky's going to Raw.
But remember, Charlotte's already been drafted to SmackDown.
How are they getting the title off of Charlotte?
now? Well, Bianca. Now people think it's going to be Bianca on Raw, and then Sasha on SmackDown. But here's the thing, because Bianca is challenging Charlotte, so it could happen.
Yeah.
On
I
Monday.
give it 50-50.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
On Monday's
on Monday
gonna
she's
happen,
challenging
yeah.
Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah.
So it could happen.
Yeah.
But I think they're just gonna do the lazy thing that they did with the New Day and the fucking Street Profits a year ago, where they just swap titles.
Did you just swallow? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
I was wondering. Go ahead, Lee.
I hope not,
Yeah.
but Vince is giving me no indication. Is all I'm
Alright.
saying.
That's fair.
And then to finalize in the main event,
Let me do this. It is going to be the Beast, the man who used to be from Minnesota now resides in Canada.
The man we would send to face the aliens.
The man we would face to send the aliens if they came to Earth. Thank you, Pat
I love how
McAfee.
you just messed that whole thing up,
Yeah.
but hey, Pat McAfee
worked.
sometimes messes up shit up. Which, by the way, reportedly, I guess Vince actually is in Pat's ear a lot.
Well, he's in his ear,
From
hoping
Pat's
for him.
own
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah.
And the head of the table, the tribal chief, the man who heads the island of relevancy, your undisputed Universal Champion.